And Gunner. That's the whistle of Grant Atkins, who is the referee. White Raymond's in the bunker. Penrith with the first carry and possession. Moses Leota with it for the Panthers, running away from the Slater stand end. So Penrith running to the right of your radio dial in perfect conditions for NRL Thursday. Here's Papali'i, play 3, just beyond the 20-metre line. So we've got the mix of the pink of Penrith and the purple of the Storm this evening. Left-hand side, Cogger feeds up with McLean, who runs into the defence there of Mini. Makes the tackle for the Storm, gets some help out from Grant, as well as also Keeley. Ball played and out of dummy half. Lussick pinches 10 metres by himself into attacking territory and stopped 42 metres from the Melbourne line. Last play of the opening set of the game is a Nathan Cleary bomb from right on halfway, deep to far Longo, catches it unchallenged defensive right corner for the Storm, runs infield and gets stopped. So the Purple will start their first set, 10 from the southern end, as it's swarming defence led by Liam Martin there, and 3 and 4 others in there. Moses Leota was among them to charge into Howarth on return from a shoulder injury. They pushed him back 6 and 7 metres. Third carry now from Leo. He only gets back to the 10. Now Wishart up to almost the red stripe of the 20, but real intent shown. First tackle of the night from the Panthers. Forward goes Bloor for the Storm, just beyond the 20-metre line, and referee Atkins says that is 5. So last play of the opening set for Melbourne, they didn't gain much ground. Wishart kicks from just beyond his own 20, boots it downfield to Jenkins, who catches it for Penrith, and he's tackled only 5 from halfway.
Yeah, very aggressive start for the Penrith Panthers. Their first set, they spun the ball wide, really tested the Melbourne Storm on the fringes, got to their kick. Very aggressive set, led by their firebrand Liam Martin. He's looking for a bit of form coming in the back end of the year. Good start by him.
Coggers had a run, and out to McLean. Casey McLean for Penrith, 38 metres out, plays the football as they surge down the middle third, the Panthers, and get to within 30 metres of the Melbourne line on the carry of Henry. Played to Lussick, given left through Smith to Cogger to McLean to Jenkins on the edge, up to the 20 before the defence meets Jenkins and puts him down. It was a Kelly down low to make the tackle. End of the set, Cleary with a little cross the line chip. Caught brilliant lead by Martin. He chucks it back to Smith. Smith throws it to the right wing, and no one there to stop Brian To'o going in for the first try off the back of some brilliant last play Panthers football, 4-0 to Penrith.
Yeah, that was tremendous rugby league by the Penrith Panthers. They're sending a lot of traffic to the Melbourne Storm right edge. I think they're going to try and target Tuimalautu Brown. They spread it left, then Cleary dropped a beautiful kick right on the post, right in that no man's land where it was too far for the winger or the centre to go up for it. Normally the high flyers. Liam Martin gets the ball, passes it straight down. Then there was always going to be an unmarked To'o. He gets the ball, try time.
What a play. Ian Cohen, down to you on the touchline.
Yeah, it can only be described as a scary start if you are wearing purple here tonight. I mean, the defensive pressure was extraordinary, and they just opened up that right-hand side, and as soon as it was out, there was no one within Cooey, and To'o could have strolled over the line. So 3 minutes in, concerns obviously the Panthers need to sharpen up, and Melbourne Storm fans will have concerns that this might be that sharpen up.
Well, Liam Martin at lock, he looked more like a rugby union lock leaping in a line-out than a rugby league lock getting under a bomb. That was fantastic play. He caught that with 2 hands above his head and then chucked it. And the pass from Lindsay Smith was a beauty as well.
It was but he was the one that, he's the only one that went up for it, to be honest, Liam Martin, and that just sums him up because he competes. He competes all the time going for the football, and it paid dividends for the Panthers.
And Nathan Cleary's first conversion attempt from the night is 6 metres in from the right touch and 21 metres out. He's kicked 80 from 94 in club footy this year and gets the welcoming of the purple fans here in Melbourne. Looking to add the extras to the To'o try. Cleary approaches, strikes with his right boot. That looks good. We're right behind it. Penrith 6, Melbourne 0. Early stages of NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. You're with Quentin Hull, Ryan Hoffman and Ian Cohen in the Southern Capital. You can get in touch on 0467 920 222. Across town, St Kilda and Gold Coast playing their last games of the season in the AFL. It's the last round of the regular season in the AFL. Early on, first term there, Gold Coast 4-3-27. Leads St Kilda 3-1-19.
How I thought they start Penrith very, very fast and aggressive.
Meany with the kick-off and caught by Edwards again. Give it to Leota, who charges into the defence and is tackled 12 metres from the Panthers line, and there was a flop and a hold down there from the Storm. Penalty to Penrith. Referee Grant Atkins wanting to make sure that that ruck area is cleaned up, so Cleary puts it to his right boot, kicks for touch, and the Panthers don't have to, well, earn the run yards. The kick gets them to 15 from halfway. Now Martin charges into the defence, so good field position off the score already for Penrith, courtesy of the penalty. Martin plays it just inside Penrith territory, given one man infield to Edwards, and that shaven head glistening on this Thursday night in Melbourne as he stopped mid-park. Pass left goes from Smith onto Henry. Henry put down 43 metres from the Melbourne line, slightly left edge. Now back to right. Smith distributes onto Cleary, who shows him straight to the floor, wraps him up. And now Munster comes in to help out, along with others. Harry Grant's got the headgear on to start tonight, the purple headgear, as Cleary's put down 40 out. Back to the centre of the field for Leota, to Smith, to Papali'i, to McLean, to the edge for Jenkins, up to the 30. He weaves around Fa'alongo, but a great tackle around the ankles from Wishart. Puts him down 20 out, but again, Penrith looking dangerous. End of the set, McLean chips him behind the line. It's Martin flying again. He bubbled that one, just couldn't catch it. Ends up in the hands of the Storm, and eventually Howard's tackled only 8 metres from his own line. But you give Penrith half the journey upfield, Hoffy, and you're going to be under pressure.
Well, it's almost a carbon copy. It was nearly exactly the same from the first try. As we see a Melbourne Storm penalty, just even up from the other one, I think. But once again, Penrith put in that deft little kick right on the top of the three, and that time Cameron Munster went up strongly.
And on the text, thank you to Daniel from Lawler Park in New South Wales, who reminds me, and I did note it here, but I didn't give him credit. When Brian To'o crossed for what was his 12th try of the season, it was his 100th career try in the NRL. So thanks, Brian, for helping out. 100 tries for Brian To'o in 152 games. 0467 920 222 is that text message number. Melbourne's got it. Kings with the ball, and he's taken 3 metres inside Storm territory, 20 in from the western touchline. Played to Grant, passed to Uduikamanu, who rolls down the middle third. But again, Martin's there, along with the likes of Lassick and Smith, and they make the tackle. Storm 42 out, Grant to the right, and Wishart decides to take on the line with the run, but gets taken down by Henry and Smith. 35 metres out, Grant back to the centre third through the hands of Liero to Munster. Now feeds the inside line of Howard, and he's tackled on 5. Melbourne 28 metres from the Penrith line. Last play for the Storm. Wishart will kick high and deep-ish. It's leapt at and caught out there by Meany. He has to chuck it at the back. Play on, kept alive. Tumilotu Brown gives to Fa'alongo, who's tackled by McLean. It's a handover, and Penrith survive. Panthers to get the ball 10 from their own line. 6-0 the scoreline in favour of Penrith. Now the referee's just called time off here.
Yeah, I reckon it might be Sean Bloor, I think, because he was very slow to get up off the tackle that he had just in front of me when Cam Munster crashed into the back of him. He went down and hit his head on the ground. He then went down behind play when the Storm line was being threatened. I reckon it's an HIA for Sean Bloor.
And Big Cooper Clark comes onto the field. Thanks, Ian Cohen, on the touchline. And g'day to Cole from Caboolture. He's one of those, he turns the picture volume down and listens to the radio because of the call. Good on you, Cole. Thank you. 0467 920 222. By the way, if you haven't tried it, the green ABC Sport Rapid button these days, very close. You don't even have to do the pause to sync up these days.
I'll tell my mum that. She watches.
Yeah, ABC Sport Rapid, the green green button there on ABC Listen. 6-0 Penrith with King, Henry with the ball for the Panthers. Now left edge, Papali'i is put down, and the Panthers 15 in from the left and 12 from halfway. Played to Lussick, give it to Edwards, running laterally across the 40. Now to Cleary, pass to the right edge for To'o, who gets underneath the tackle of 1 and 2 before eventually being stopped on halfway by the tackle of King. Last play for Penrith. It's given right by Lussick to Cleary, who's challenged by Grant and put down as he was kicking it, and the two champs have a little bit of a tangle. Meanwhile, Failongo catches 15 from his own line, but is cut down on a lateral kick return by the tackle of Papali'i.
Yeah, I'm really going to enjoy the battle between Nathan Cleary and Sua Failongo. Nathan Cleary's got one of the best kicking games, if not the best kicking game in rugby league at the moment, but Sua Failongo has shown how dangerous he can be on his kick return, so I'm going to enjoy that battle tonight.
Meany taken midway goal line and halfway as the Storm truck it upfield. Udoikamanu, that's a loose offload. There was 3 around him. Grant just caught it. It was a bit of a tricky one, but Storm still got the ball. Now it's in the hands of Munster, who kicks downfield. He sends Edwards back on a little bit of a run, but still Dylan Edwards catches it on the full for the Panthers. 15 from his own line. He beats 1 on a lateral kick return and stopped eventually. About 20 in from touch on the left and 23 metres from the Panthers goal line. 6-0 to Penrith. We've still got 31 minutes to go in this first half, so the game just 9 minutes old. NRL Thursday on ABC Sport as Cogger at dummy half distributes infield to To'o, and he meets the defence. 3 around him, Brian To'o to play it on the 30. Lussick gives it on to Tungor. Isaac Tungor up to the 40. Plays the ball there, and now Lussick distributes left to Smith through the hands to Cleary. Inside line onto Papali'i, who gets through the tackle of Clark before Udoikamanu is there to put him down with the Liero. Last play, Panthers 45 metres out. Space for Cleary to stroll a couple of metres before chipping in behind the line. Pins it to the corner for Failongo, who's in the in-goal area to gather. Liam Martin's there, or he audaciously passes it to Howarth, who gets into the field of play by a metre. Wow, that was Leo who got into it. And now Sua's out of dummy half having a run and stop on a 10-metre gain.
I tell you what, if you risk it, you get the reward sometimes, and Sua Failongo definitely did there. I don't think Craig really want to see that play too many times.
That was audacious, to say the least. Now right edge, a dummy and straightened and line break almost for Keeley. Just had his ankles taken, a dozen from halfway, but a quick play the ball to Wishart. He's ankle tapped by McLean and stop. So the Storm have got it, but a good little burst down the right flank, almost up to halfway now. Back to centre field through Liero to Munster, who kicks a tumbling left foot kick downfield. To'o has to go to a knee to catch an awkwardly spinning ball. He does, and he's tackled 30 from the Panthers line. 10 minutes played. Penrith lead 6-0.
Yeah, the game's got a bit more of an arm wrestle now with teams going set for set. It's really become played between the 20s. I think the Penrith Panthers, they're trying to open up their left edge. So see a lot of plays down the Melbourne Storm's left to open it up and really attack Wishart, Manning and Tuimalatu Brown.
Voice of Kangaroo Blue and Premiership winner Ryan Hoffman with you on NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. Cogger to the left. He got dumped after he passed the ball to Papali'i. Ref let it go. No, he doesn't let it go. Late tackle on Jack Cogger. Penalty to Penrith. Who was the guilty party?
There's Oren Keeley. He's sort of... It was close, but you just can't do that in rugby league anymore.
Had to follow the ball, so it was sort of... Yeah, now we get the replay. Yeah, it was. Keeley just into the side of Jack Cogger, who keeps his role next to Nathan Cleary. Blaze Talangi hasn't started in the half since round 21. That's an interesting talking point as we get closer to finals as well.
Yeah, I think Ivan Cleary settled on his halves combination.
Henry takes the ball forward off the kick, and the first run, Penrith 30 out. The penalty here for a hand on the ball. And tap and go. Are they going to let Lussick do that? No, they're not.
Was that a grapple tackle?
Yeah, well, obviously it's not a ruck infringement. Normally it would have been 6 to go.
Yeah, normally we were getting these back in 2006 about this time of the year where you start to hear people complain about the grapple tackle.
Hoffy, you know what? You've been in a few video sessions. This is what they're targeting us now with our tackle technique, the old Storm grapple.
That's it. So winding back the clock, I like it.
If they don't take the 2, decide to tap and go, 6-0 Penrith as settling hit up there from Henry. 25 out. middle third. Now it's Moses Leota's turn, but Uduikamano's there with a couple of other Storm defenders, King and also Liera to stop him. 20 out to the right now. Cleary feeds the inside line of Martin. Has it stripped out of his hands by Grant. One-on-one play, and it's deemed a knock-on from Martin. Oh, welcome back, Harry Grant. He just comes up with those plays, doesn't he?
Yeah, it might be worth a challenge, because I think Harry Grant was going for the one-on-one strip, but I don't think Penrith are going to go ahead. It might have been classed as one of those loose carries. One of those tough ones where a bloke gets bounced off and just, as he's going to grip, takes the football. But, yeah, that's a let-off for the Melbourne Storm.
6-0 Penrith. On the text, Karen, who now lives in Perth, she says, hey fellas, great call from Melbourne so far. I'm sending my warm regards to Tui. I was with him as the team manager when he was at the Sunshine Coast Falcons through 2015 and 16, and wish him all the best for the future. Karen, who now lives in Perth. Thank you on 0467 920 222. If you missed that news earlier today, he has swanned off into retirement, which may have been beckoning, but of course had that medical episode with the stroke after the game in North Queensland this year, or against North Queensland this year, and has farewelled the club today. Storm have got the ball on their own 20. Again, Fa'alongo is playing like it's Sevens rugby, chucking passes, and Munster says, what, my job to catch it and run? Yep, he's tackled 25 metres out. Now Mini on the right edge gets to the 30. As the Storm just seem to have settled a little bit after Brian To'o scored the opening and so far only try. To the left, Munster on to Fa'alongo. He links up on that edge. Howarth runs into the defence, and he chucks an offload out the back, which was ill-conceived. Bounce straight to Liam Martin. Penrith's got the ball. Martin passes infield to To'o. Straightening run, and he's tackled 35 out. Well, it looks like the Storm have come with a licence to throw it around, but that has blown up in their face. Penrith back on the attack as it's taken forward by Henry. He's on his back. That's a flop. So weighty fisty here from referee Grant Atkins. 6 more for the Panthers as Leota straightens up. Tackled 22 metres out in centre field. Lussick now feeds right to Cleary. Given on to Martin. Martin into the tackle of Clark, and young Cooper holds him up. And the ball will be played only 11 from the Storm line. Back to the left for Cleary at the line. Gives it to Smith, who straightens, but Uduikamanu makes a good tackle. Crashing into Lindsay Smith. 8 metres out. Lussick back to the right for Cleary. Second man to Edwards. Second man to Alamotti. Infield. Good tackle is made by Leo. Puts him, that was Tungo, should I say. Of course, Alamotti not there. He's played the ball. Quick shift to the left. Through the hands of McLean to Jenkins. Jenkins steps infield. Buffett's away from one. Went to a knee. Kept it alive with a pass to Cogger. Gave it on to Lussick. He's tackled. Chucked it out to the left. Hold on. Is this rugby league in the NRL? There's a knock on there from Penrith in all of that. Yeah. You sure that's a Steven and not a hot potato out there, Ian Cohen, on the touchline?
This is amazing football to watch, because two teams that are so system and numbers driven are playing like the Harlem Globetrotters at the moment. The ball is getting thrown around left, right and centre. It might be a very entertaining, what have we got, 66 minutes to go.
It's been good. Both teams are attacking quite well. There's a poor option there by Jack Howarth, but we're seeing quite an expansive Melbourne Storm. I think the message from the coaching staff will be, we've got nothing to lose, so let's go out there and enjoy our footy.
6-0 the scoreline. 16 minutes played. Brian To'o the score, and Nathan Cleary the conversion for Penrith. Melbourne with the ball off that scrum win. First tackle taken by Witchard, and now Clark on that left edge. Boy, you wait. I was about to say wait to see him fill out. Can he fill out any further or grow into his football? What a young talent he is. Munster's pass to the right's a bit loose. Osua's decided to take off the headgear now.
They're in trouble, Penrith. He means business now.
And it's raining.
Rain coming down.
Oh, here comes the rain, Coz.
Yeah, the hardware section's just buttoning up.
Okay, you take care down there as forward rolls Keeley, plays at 8 from halfway. Now give it to Uduikamanu, who takes the Storm into attacking territory. Stop 48 metres out from the Penrith line. Last play, Grant jumps out of dummy half and kicks for touch and finds it about 5 metres from the corner post. So out to the 10-metre line for possession for the Panthers.
You mentioned Cooper Clark. He's obviously gone out there in the back row for Sean Bloor. It's actually disappointing because I want to see him spend a lot more time in the middle. He's an out-and-out middle forward, and I think having that impact coming off the bench from him, where he's not having to play 80 minutes, we're going to see a great version of Cooper.
Tungo with the ball for Penrith. Tackled midway goal line and halfway. Now Lussick directs it to the right. A one-out run from Liam Martin, who He's playing just his 14th game of the season in club footy. He's had some injuries throughout the year, but valuable for Penrith to see him back this time of year as Smith crawls his way to halfway now for the Panthers. Played to Lussick, given to the left. Cogger runs at the line. He's got Papali'i there, doesn't give the pass. He dummied to him. Crawled through the tackle there of Wishart before he's finished off by Grant. Last play, Penrith, 30 metres out. Cleary, Grubbers in behind the line. Leo and Failonga look at each other. Leo says, I'll take it. Leo gets through Nathan Cleary's tackle and back in the field of play. He stopped under the black diometer from the goal line. He's defending. 6-0 Panthers, 22 minutes left in the first half. Left edge, but no great run to gain there for Failonga. So now infield runs Jack Howarth, one of few making his return from injury tonight. A couple of weeks out with a shoulder injury, short of the 20 when tackled. Now a couple of sets of hands before the ankle tap and eventual tackle is made out there on Tumalaju Brown. Now back to the middle third for Howarth, and he's held up and is going to play the ball. No, that was Keeley, my apologies, at the end. Liero, get it right the third time. Kick downfield by Wishart at the end of the set. Well controlled by Todd, just skimmed a little bit off this now dewy surface. Controlled it, pass infield to Edwards. Edwards give it to Jenkins. Almost got past Keeley, who just hung on and pulled him down from behind. Panthers on their own 30.
Sorry, Keeley. He's looked dangerous, Jenkins. Every time he breaks that first tackle, it was good to work by Aaron Keeley just to have a fingernail on him.
And 6 again here for Penrith. Ruck infringement from the Storm. So To'o just decides to go forward. He's tackled 5 from halfway. And that rain sort of, I wouldn't call it heavy, but it's persistent at the moment as Smith gets to halfway, and now a little offload to Leota. Stopped 40 metres out, kept alive. Clearing out to the right edge. Little flick pass to Tungo, feeds to the edge for To'o. Runs infield. Taken though by the cover defence of Moses Leo. Only 11 metres out, the Panthers out on the right. Edwards back to the left. Cleary across the 10. Floating ball to Cogger. Floats it to the left edge for Casey McLean. Beautiful tackle from Meany coming out of the line to put him down. Last play, Penrith. Papali'i runs it himself blindside. Gets an offload away to Jenkins. Give it to Cogger. Kept alive through Cleary. Onto Liam Henry, and he has gone in to score. It's a second try for Penrith. Keeping it alive. Papali'i, he tried to do it himself down the blind side, but when that came to naught, he was able to get the offload away, and Liam Henry is in for just his 4th try of the season. Penrith lead 10-0.
Yeah, it's just been a way to field position. The Penrith Panthers have spent pretty much their whole of the first half inside the Melbourne Storm half. They kept on going to that left edge. Once again, I thought Casey McLean was going to score a try, but absolutely tremendous tackle by Nick Meany. Papali'i, he did go the short side, but managed to get the ball away. They get it back into the middle. They're too good, the Penrith Panthers.
And off to the Bears next year, Liam Henry. But be happy with that 10-0 kick to come for Cleary, slight left-hand side. So you settled down there, Coase. You've got the body and technical equipment protected from the moisture.
Yeah, indeed I have. The rain does look like, sadly, it's settled in, but you're quite right. It's not all that heavy. I'll toughen up. I'll be okay. Better news for Storm. Sean Bloor has been passed from that HIA, so he will be able to participate once again.
And Cohen down on the touchline as, well, there was just a little bit of a delay before Grant Atkins told Nathan Cleary that he was allowed to indeed strike this conversion attempt.
I don't know what they were checking.
Yeah.
Pretty cut and dry.
Maybe a pass in the lead-in, but as far as whether it took a touch and was a knock-on, but no, it's all good. And with the rain coming down in Melbourne, Nathan Cleary eyes his second conversion attempt of the night. It's opposite side to his first, but the same result. Flags are raised for 12-0 Penrith. Quentin Hull, Ryan Hoffman and Ian Cohen with you for NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. Jen from Swansea on the text says, happy Rugby League. The Toho ducking technique looks concerning if he misjudges. What do you think?
I think he's been doing that his whole career, and what it does is it makes him a hell of a lot harder to tackle.
Yeah.
But the interesting one, if he is ducking like that and you do hit him highest, what if you hit him on the top of the head? You know,
it's still high, isn't it?
It's a bit of a grey area too, but
well, it's above the shoulders and and high, but
is his head below his shoulders if he's ducking down?
oh,
Here we go. There's a bit of a curly one.
around the grounds in the AFL, second quarter, Gold Coast 7-5-47 leads and Kilda 5-1-31 as Moses Leota once again charges into the defensive line. First carry off the restart, 15 from Penrith's line. Now it's Liam Henry, the try scorer's turn. 2 tackles and up to the 30, the Panthers. So they've made a good couple of carries through their props to start this set. Now good line speed from Liero to get in the face of Papali'i. He knew that was coming. No great game for Isaiah there. Plays it on the 30. Given infield to Edwards. Dylan Edwards with 3 tacklers around him and won't go to ground, but is ordered to play the footy. A dozen inside Penrith territory. Lussick feeds right. Sorensen's out there. Runs over Grant but gets tackled by Liero. 5 from halfway. End of set. Cleary from just outside the 40 tried one of those screwing kicks to the touchline. Fa'alongo gathers it beautifully. Then puts a dance move on Liam Martin, but Martin makes the tackle. And Fa'alongo will play it for the Storm on their own 30. 18 minutes left in this first half with rain falling in Melbourne. And it's Penrith 12, Melbourne 0. Middle of the park for the Storm. Richard pops it up. And a couple of defenders there waiting on the carry of Clark. No great gain. Still 5 inside Melbourne territory. Now King gets momentum and rolls into attacking territory. Gain of 8 for Josh King. Plays it 43 from Panthers line to the left through Munster to Fa'alongo. Intercept pass to Brian To'o. He read the ball. He's got 55 to run. He's being chased by Fa'alongo. But on the night he brought up his 100th in the NRL. Make it 101 career tries for Brian To'o. He's over. He's read that beautifully. And the Panthers go further ahead. 16-0. Kick to come.
Brian To'o and Saw Fa'alongo, they're probably going to be teammates at the back end of the year for Samoa. I reckon Saw might hit him on the chest with a few more passes like that, but that was a... Look, he just got himself into the passing lane, Brian To'o. He got himself in between. And look, Fa'alongo's trying to push... He's trying to attack. I'll see what he's trying to do. But the Penrith Panthers defence, they're just up there. They're swarming him. They're not being on the back foot, and that's the result you get.
Well, it was right in front of you, Coz. We had a wet track, so it wasn't quite 2 sprinters on top of the ground, but pretty good sight with Sewer trying to run him down.
Yeah, heavy classification, but you could see, I don't know if it was a grimace or a smile, but Brian To'o had just oxygen between him and the line, pinned the ears back and away he went. So, look, it's a really impressive start from the Panthers. They've come here meaning business. Storm have been pretty flamboyant in the way they've played, and it has not come up at all for Melbourne Storm and for Craig Bellamy's men. So just about to see the first change. Alec McDonald is getting ready to come on for Melbourne Storm.
They haven't given themselves a chance, Melbourne Storm. They've been too many 6 agains, turning the ball over. I mean, it's all well and good to be aggressive in your defence and aggressive in your attack, but you're going to be in for a big night if you don't have the discipline.
It's a very different style game that Penrith had to play last week against the Roosters. You know, we sort of expect if these are the games that have been tight and semi-final time prep, it doesn't really feel like that from Penrith. They're not going to get this style come at them unless, well, who knows, maybe they run into the Dolphins who try and roll the dice at them. As Cleary ricochets off the far upright and through for his 3rd conversion of the night. Penrith 18, Melbourne 0. 15 minutes and 20 seconds remain in the first half here. Yeah, just on the style of footy, it's
different, but Ivan Cleary will be very happy with his charges because they've played a really good first half, and it started from their opening set in both attack and defence.
The Big Daddy from Coffs on the text says, loving the call. Ray Price used to run with his head down as well. Interesting. By the way, if you missed the news, speaking of those greats of bygone era, condolences to the family and friends of the great Billy Smith, champion dragon and former Kangaroos captain, dying at the age of 84 today, member of the Hall of Fame. 0467920222. Big Daddy reckons we might be in for a high-scoring game. Well, maybe from Penrith's point of view.
It's looking that way. 18 points in the first half.
A couple of carries off the kick-off. Panthers up to the 20. Play 3, Sorensen left edge. And he's held up by 3 defenders. He's midway goal line and halfway. 20 in from touch on that left side. Lussick feeds back to the central corridor for the run of Isaiah Papali'i. And again, the thighs are pumping. It's hard work for Keeley to put him down. but eventually he does off, but he held on too long, Keely. And a wavy fisty for the Panthers to charge once again into attacking territory. Down the middle third on the carry there, and there's another 6 again. Henry has a run, but he was held on too long. Was that McDonald first up?
Yeah.
Alec McDonald gives away the wavy fisty. McLean up over halfway. Watch out, they're coming again. And now, and in the bin, wow. Third penalty, and it's Oren Keeley who is absolutely spewing. He has been sin-binned, repeated infringements. Let's tune in here. Harry Grant's having a chat with Ref Atkins.
It's wet, it's slippery, of course. It's not going to be the cleanest game, all right? But it goes both ways.
Okay, you said your part now. You guys are significantly slow in 3 straight tackles. I have no option on that. The problem with the ruck speed is your problem with your team. You address it, or we're going to have that continue. It goes both ways, absolutely.
So,
Is it 60? I'm thinking it's 7 or 8 nil.
there's a few of them. So Oren Keeley to the sin bin. 26 minutes into the game. Boy, this is going to make it tough for Melbourne as Penrith kick, and they are only 25 metres from the Storm line on the carry of Casey McLean. Now, that'll help. Blindside Lussig's pass is just clean dropped by Cogger. And that's a let-off. They need that.
That's a huge let-off because they were really starting to smell blood in the water, Penrith, if they haven't already. A full set against 12 men on the Melbourne Storm edge, but yeah, Cogger just took his eyes off the ball.
Mikey from Bendigo, he's sitting in the Slater stand. He reckons that Storm are getting a rough deal from the ref. I don't know. I reckon he is right on the ruck speed as well. And here's the other thing, Grant Atkins, he knows that it's getting close to finals as well.
Yeah.
And every little part of the game that they'll be looking at in finals footy, like ruck speed and all those things, so he wants to make sure that he's on top of those things. Storm have got it. 15 from halfway. Thanks, Mikey. 0467 920 222. Penrith leading 18-0. Almost a line break there for Howard, though. Slipped almost to a tackle, but Cleary gets him on halfway, and there was a flop, so 6 more. Here you go, Mikey.
You can see that coming, couldn't you?
Fresh slip for the Storm. Well, Cleary's made the strip, but it wasn't one-on-one. So the penalty goes to the Storm.
You can challenge it, you'd have to style it. I've already called, stop the time off. I've called it held, okay? It's not even a held call. Can't challenge it.
So, no challenge available there, as Ref Atkins explains to Nathan Cleary. And this is one of the Storm's better chances. Wishart kicks for touch, and he'll find it 25 metres from the Penrith line. Melbourne desperately needing to score next in this game. 3 tries to nil, all converted by the Panthers. 18-0 the scoreline NRL Thursday here on ABC Sport. McDonald with the centering hit up. He's taken 22 metres from the Penrith line. Grant feeds it right for Wishart. Feeds the inside line of Clark. 3 defenders in front of Cooper Clark. And the big lad goes to a knee 18 metres from the Penrith line. Melbourne fans can sense points perhaps. Wishart to the left to Munster. Dummies almost got around Liam Martin, who put his dacks down in the end. Needed some help to finish the tackle, and Cleary was there to do so. Munster plays the ball, then pulls up his pants. At least he's got his priorities in order. Now the arrow straightens, but has taken 12 metres from the goal line. Options either side for Grant. Runs himself out of dummy half. Taken around the ankles by Lussick. Last play, Melbourne. 7 metres out to the left for Munster. Tries to grab up, miss, hits it off his instep. It's tapped along the ground by McDonald. Kept alive. The arrow picks it up. Give it to Grant, who without moving just put his boot to it to the right side. And it ricochets to Jenkins. Watch out, Tom Jenkins is on a kick return, but reeled in by Flyalonga just before halfway. And just as well, Sewell was quick to that. There was a weird end of set, but the Panthers now are back on the attack. Edwards at dummy half. Gains 8 metres as the Storm rush back on side, and Penrith get into their offensive line, and we see the ball at the other end of the park. After Harry Grant, he didn't even take a step to balance himself with that kick. Put it on the toe. It was a pretty good kick at the end, but boy, once it was in the hands of Jenkins, it was danger. Now, Penrith with it on the carry of Sorensen, 30 metres out. To the left, through the hands of Smith. Smith to Cogger. On to McLean. Nice defensive read from Mini. Got in his face, but Cogger feeds it infield to Cleary. And Nathan Cleary's tackle 28 metres out in centre field. Pass goes to the right through the hands of Smith. Now towards the edge. Edwards dummies and straightens. Edwards is taken down only 10 metres out, slightly right. Last play. Lussick passes blind for Cleary. Double cut out to To'o, who dives spectacularly to complete a first half hat-trick on the night that he registers 3 figures. He has 3 tries. What a finish from Brian To'o.
I tell you what, if he's managed to hold on to this in the wet, this would be an absolutely tremendous play. Go up the other end. It was a poor kick by Cameron Munster, saved by a better kick than Harry Grant, but Jenkins gets it, drives it down the field. Moses Leo has been caught in field a number of times tonight. There's not a lot of communication with him and Jack Howarth. They're not working together. He does want to get a hand on him, but I'll back Brian To'o to score these ones.
It's almost like the somersault finish, Ian Cohen.
Yeah, it was certainly acrobatic, and Brian To'o's just been fine, and he manages to keep the feet up and the body obviously off the ground, and that's a try for mine. But Storm at the moment, just no cohesion. They are clunky. They seem to be playing as if it is the end of the season, which, as we spoke about at the start of the broadcast, it is unusual territory for Melbourne Storm not to be looking into September.
Well, they're playing, but they're not executing. Okay, if you want to go out there and play footy, that's fine, play footy, but you got to execute your play.
Ryan Hoffman with you on NRL Thursday on ABC Sport as Nathan Cleary lines up this conversion. So, gee, what a way to really put an exclamation point on a night where you reach a major milestone. His first try was try 100 in his NRL career, and very quickly he's gone 101 and 102. Brian To'o. And now Cleary. Half a metre in from right touch. 21 metres out. Hasn't missed one so far tonight, but the rain's continuing to come down. So it's not the easiest of propositions, even for a man of his class. Approaches, strikes, and it hits the far upright and bounces back into the field of play. No goal. So the first miss on the night from Cleary. He is 3 from 4. And Penrith 22 lead Melbourne 0 with 8.5 minutes left in this first half, Ryan Hoffman.
Yeah, they've just been a class above. I mentioned in the pre-game that Penrith haven't been in great form, and then sometimes it does take a game on the road against an opposition where you've had a rivalry just to recenter yourselves again, and that's exactly what's happened to Penrith. From the opening kick-off, they've been fast, they've executed.
And at quick look, I think that is the 3rd career hat-trick for Brian To'o. He's never scored 4 tries in a game, but just did a quick little look there. I think that's 3 times 3, so to speak, for Brian To'o in the NRL. 8 minutes and 18 seconds left to the break, and once again Penrith running it upfield. They decide to shift it left. Cleary gives to McLean, but he's tackled. Penrith 20 from its own line out on that eastern side as it's fed back infield by Cogger onto Papali'i, who's tackled. 20 in, make it 12 in from the left and 30 from his own line. To the middle third, and Billy Phillips is out there for Penrith. He's tackled 15 from halfway. Now Cleary from inside the 40. He's pumped that on his right boot, hoping for a 40-20, but it's not going to have the bend on it to get to that far touchline before Tui Malatu Brown gathers it in for the Storm, and he's tackled 10 from the southern in-goal area. 0467 920 222 is the number to get in touch on the SMSs. Again, the Storm stuck down the wrong end of the park for this fan base, which you can hear is probably getting increasingly frustrated. Howarth's with the ball now, but still only 10 out. Make it a dozen as he crawls a metre or two forward before playing it. Liam Martin's on in the ruck saying, I shouldn't be penalised, but he is.
He just laid there. There has to be some responsibility for the tackler to at least try and move out of the way.
So this will help the Storm around the grounds in the AFL second quarter at Docklands. Gold Coast 9-5-59 leads St Kilda 8-2-50. It's a game that's not going to to have any bearing on the makeup of the top 10. St Kilda's chances were quashed when Carlton drew with the Western Bulldogs last week. Still playing for pride there. You can hear it on ABC Listen, red and blue button. Speaking of ABC Listen, of course, we've got the cricket test 2 coming from Mackay. Look for the red cricket ball button there. So all of the action through finals are the codes of the footy. Continuing coverage of the Wallabies, who are over to Argentina now the next few weeks, but we'll keep them going on Sport Extra as well. Now to the right, Wishart for the Storm. Gives to Fa'alongo, half a hole. Cogger makes the tackle. Melbourne, 28 metres out on the right as it's played and fed infield to Wishart. Now to Grant, running laterally across the 30. Gives it to Munster. Pops it up to Howarth. Doesn't really have any momentum as he hits the ball, but the thighs are pumping and good post-contact metres. Give him 4 or 5 extras there before Sorensen drags him down. Last play, Storm, 20 out. Wishart runs it to the right. Gives the pass away to Mini, who beats one, but got tackled. Pinning his ears back for the corner. Great defence from Cogger coming across to stop him.
Yeah, it was a great move by Nick Mooney. He really left Casey McLean picking up daisies off the ground, but he just couldn't execute the old Matt Gidley flick pass to an unmarked Tuimolotu Brown. But that was a much better set by the Storm. They played a lot more direct.
Rain still falling in Melbourne. Loose ball here. It's been lost by Tungor. No advantage, so knock on Tungor, and Penrith right on their own line are going to give the ball back to the Storm here. And there's still about 70 seconds remaining with Oren Keeley in the sin bin.
A minute to go, Oren Keeley.
Yep. So they've only conceded 1 try in that period, the Storm. Chance to see if they can create something here. So Munster to feed, they're stacked right with Wishart and Fa'alongo in close proximity around first receiver. Now Fa'alongo goes to the left. Munster dummies and gives it to Fa'alongo, whose run had sort of stopped. Now Sua's just doing his little bounce and jive thing, a bit like the Tasmanian Devil. Away, so it goes around with all that energy. Penrith though offside. Penalty to Melbourne.
I tell you what they're doing, Penrith, they're doing a great job. They're not letting Sua Fa'alongo get across the field. When he starts to head east-west, they keep pushing their line forward, which is just giving him no space.
Issue for Sua though here, I think.
Yeah, he just punched the ground, Coase.
Yeah, it looks to be a lower leg that he was grasping for, but it's a fair way away from me. You might be able to see more with the binoculars.
Yeah, the trainer is coming in to attend to the leg. So Kim from Newport texts just while it's getting attended to here. Gents, what a flogging tonight for Melbourne. But just wanted to say, Vale Billy Smith with Langlands always played with collar up when jerseys had collars. And one of the great halfbacks. I think I remember his battles with the Kangaroos against Tommy Bishop and the Poms. Great defender and schemer around the scrum when scrums were actually scrums. Kim from Newport. Thank you. 0467 920 222. Yeah,
Seems to be a right Fa'alongo.
he's got himself up, which is good news. Well, if Melbourne have any chance of trying to reel in 22 points,
Oh yeah, they need him.
they need him out there. Even the neutral fans just wanting entertainment on the night. They don't want to see those types of players not playing.
He's been their best player all year.
Centre field scrum here again for Munster. Once again, sort of Wishart and Fa'alongo set up right. They go that time to the right. Wishart decides to give the pass to Meany, and Nick Meany's tackled. Melbourne only 6 metres out on that right edge. And a hold down and another 6 again. We've had a few of those tonight. As the rain gets heavier, Munster feeds it on to Angus Hinchy. The young man's out there. Tackled only 6 metres from the post. Played to Grant, given to the left for Munster. Flat line for Bloor. Great tackle by the Penrith defence. Cleary there first to take him down with Tongor. Now Grant passes back right to Munster. Given on to McDonald, and he's put down right under the black dot. Plays there to Grant, only a couple of metres out. Wishart doesn't like it right, chunks it back to the left for Fa'alongo. Grubbers for the in-goal area, went flailing as if taken out. Tongor fields it in the in-goal area, immediately tackled by Bloor, and the referee is going to go back and have a look at that as to whether Sua Fa'alongo was taken out.
Professional foul on the way through.
Professional foul.
I didn't see it. I was watching Law chasing the kick.
Yeah, sort of, again, I've
Just looking at Cameron Munster on kick chase and just monitoring him.
This is
Rolling through off the boot.
Wyatt Raymond in the bunker. Yeah, I saw him.
At the point of the kick, there's a space for Sewer to run through. Liam Martin then closes that space and turns in to immediately tackle Sewer.
Liam Martin can't disappear.
He does close the gap with a sign in the next part.
Now, do you think that this should be only a penalty or a sin bin?
At the point of contact, there's no one there to cover the ball. All players are moving towards the vicinity of the ball. In our opinion, this constitutes a professional foul.
He'll be in the bin.
There's a potential try situation. We have a decision.
Oh, that is a big call.
I'll just get where the ball first bounces. Next bounces. Let it in.
To the letter of the law, you can see it.
Yeah, but I hate it when they do these things slow-mo.
It's open field, yeah. Sewer kicks it. You turn back in and close the gap on him. It's in the bin.
So the question I have here, did he turn his body to close the gap or did he turn his body to brace for contact?
That's what it looked like to me. He didn't actually purposely step across. He sort of, there was no movement of the feet. He didn't stick an arm out. I think that's a bit harsh.
What do you reckon, Ian?
Yeah, well, I mean, he can't disappear into the ground, so I don't know what he's meant to do. He's actually following the movement of the ball.
So Liam Martin is in the bin and the Storm have the man advantage, 3.5 to the break, but they're trailing in the game 22-0 and Hinchy tackled only a metre out, so another big opportunity for the Storm to the left. Grant gives it to Munster. Oh, Cleary was all over that, raced out of that offensive line to tackle Munster. Chucks a late pass though, kept it alive. Bailongo scoops it up and gives it to Howarth on the left edge, but he's tackled. Melbourne did lose some ground on that play. They're 10 in from the left and 15 from Penrith's line. As Grant dummies open, goes blind with a little grubber for himself. Oh, Harry Grant, you're a genius. He is a rugby league genius. And the Melbourne captain creates a try from nothing to get the Storm on the board. 22-4, kick to come. There's not too many other players in the game that could have come up with that play, but he is Harry Grant, and he is special.
Yeah, he is. Harry Grant said, screw it, I'll do it myself, and that's exactly what he did. There was a one-on-one down the short side. He threw the dummy. He put the kick in. He had no right to get there before Brian Tohu. He really did it. Pure determination from Harry Grant. Gets the ball over the line. That's an absolutely tremendous try. The Storm need that going in the half-time. They needed something positive.
What a great try, Ian.
Unbelievable. Giving that hamstring a good test too with that quick response over 4 or 5 metres. 16,000 is the expectation for the crowd here. A lot of them are scuttled back up into the shelter, obviously, of the stands, but I reckon it'll probably be bang on somewhere around about that tonight.
So Harry Grant, first game since the round 21 loss to South Sydney. So missed just the 2 games because of the bye last week. And boy, won't Kevin Walters, who's been in the headlines today, signing a 3-year deal with St Helens, but won't he want him in green and gold for the World Cup? Has he held on to it?
Oh, I thought he had.
Having a look to see if there's a bobble in. Now, that's a try.
Yeah.
Surely they can't take that off him.
I don't know. I don't know. There's been. Oh no, here we go.
Here we go.
It's scrubbed.
Are they going to say because Brian To'o's hand was in there somewhere that it constitutes a knock-on?
Clean aspects of playing the lead up. Both players are competing.
To'o's arm is close to it, but
At this point,
Grant
Brian
reels the ball
To'o's
in.
right hand is now on top of Harry Grant's left hand. We're playing through. Harry now has a grip of the ball, but as we continue through, his right hand comes away from the ball and it's contacting the hand of Brian To'o. This constitutes a knock-on. We have a decision.
We've got a 6 tackle set.
Where does his hand come away from the ball?
His hand always had contact with the football.
That... on first look...
Yeah, I was going to get him to kick it off.
You're questioning brushstrokes of Michelangelo with the Mona Lisa there, aren't you? Like, that's rugby league brilliance. That's what the game wants.
But everything looks worse and when they slow everything down. They've got to watch things in full speed.
That's no try.
It's just like Liam Martin. They can't watch everything in a super duper slow mo. They've got to play at full speed.
Yeah. Penrith's got the ball. What do we have? 2 minutes and 46 seconds left in this first half. If you got the pictures while on mute and listening to us and you saw all of that, what do you think? 0467 920 222 as Papali'i plays at 11 metres from halfway for the Panthers. Given on to Smith, and Lindsay Smith has taken. Still 6 inside Penrith territory, slightly left edge. Lussick gives it to Dylan Edwards in the role of middle third plower, and he gets into attacking territory. We'll play at 47 metres from the Melbourne line. Lussick passes right. End of the set from Cleary. It's a bomb, which will come down 20 metres out. Failonga is the only man to jump for it, and he catches it. And he's tackled 10 in from the left and 22 metres from the southern in goal area. 2 minutes to the break. 22-0 to the Panthers. My name's Quentin Harlem alongside Ryan Hoffman, and Cohen's on the touchline, and you are listening to NRL Thursday on ABC Sport as Leo runs up to the 30. Melbourne still working their way upfield. This rain hasn't stopped. Wishart on a buffeting run right edge. Tyron Wishart in his last home game before the Storm before heading west. Plays at 12 from half play. Now to the left through the hands of Munster to Failonga. Jinking and jiving. Runs into Tungor, who makes the tackle one-on-one. Couple of plays left in the set here. Penrith still down a man for the next 7.5 minutes with Liam Martin in the bin. Munster to the right for Wishart. Passes out to Meany, who draws McLean. Took contact, passed it to Milado Brown. Now they chuck it back infield. A little bit of a bobble from McDonald, but Alec McDonald does catch it. They don't make much ground. They just shift it right and back to centre. And McDonald on 5 plays it just short of half play. Last play for Melbourne. Munster tries to chip and chase. Took a touch of Lindsay Smith of the Panthers and gathered there. Well, for a moment by Hinchy. He had it stripped one-on-one though by the Panthers, but it's a penalty going to Melbourne. Gee, Billy Phillips did a great job to strip that there, but the referee thought otherwise.
But he didn't need to, because the referee didn't call 6 again. It would have been last tackle. They would have got the ball penalty.
Barrington of Blackheath says, sorry guys, clearly the hand leaves the ball and propels the ball forward. And then there's another one that says, absolute BS, I hate Melbourne, but that's a try. Good night. You can't watch one-sided refereeing. So we've got one from either side there.
There you go.
A reaction to the Harry Grant try. Melbourne back on the attack here. They still might get this try before the break. 26 seconds left. To the left, Grant feeds Munster. Grubber for the in-goal area. Goes beyond the touchline. There was a flying attempt from Leo. He had off for company. The referee's going to look, though, upstairs.
That wasn't the play. That wasn't the play by Cameron Munster. They still had a couple plays up their sleeve. They didn't need to go for the Hail Mary.
Change the thing to end the lead up.
It's a nasty face plant too from Moses Leo, just quietly. Tries to plant,
From the goal.
reef the ball backwards and then chucking his whole body at the ball, committing to the ball. His nose has gone about 30 centimetres through the top of the wet Amy Park turf.
The ball goes dead off Melbourne with a decision.
Oh, nasty.
Lucky it's raining.
Oh,
Lucky it's raining. There's a ground soft.
yeah, it did
He hit that hard.
That was, yeah. Jeff in WA says the Grant no try is why. Hold on. Nathan's tried something funky, has he? Hasn't found touch. Failonga's got it. So you would have thought with 10 seconds to go. No, Failonga's chipping it back to windwards. So they're playing a bit of, it's a kicking drill. Last gasp chance before half time. Edwards has tackled end of half. 22-0. Penrith over Melbourne. Scoring details in a moment, but here we go. I'll just give a few of these texts. Jeff in WA says the Grant no try is why NRL is losing support. Hi Q, Hoffy and Ian, the bunkers seem to do their best to spoil games with super slow-mo all the time. Blow it up. Says Pale in when Wollongong. Paul probably is. Rooster Ron, Forster once again. Nothing surprises me anymore. Calls are pathetic, question mark. Robert from Palm Woods says, no try in caps. If we want the bunker, that's the right call. What's the temperature there, please, Q? It's not cold, but it's wet. I don't know exactly what it is. What is the temperature? Off you, Co's, or have you gone?
No, I'm still just down here. It is certainly wet. The rain is going to persist. It's pretty solid. It's not actually cold as in freezing cold, but by the time the jeans are pretty wet, it's starting to get a little chilly here. But anyway, Chris Minns, the New South Wales Premier, is also here tonight as well. So I'm a little behind on who he barracks for. I'm too busy with Royal Commissions down here. But Chris Ming's obviously in the house as well.
About 13 degrees. Good on you. Even if he doesn't have the thing that you asked for, he will still offer
he'll have
something.
something.
That's why he's one of the best on the touchline.
Johnny Gibbs morsel.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it was a BS call from Peter at Hawke's Nest. Claire says the ball separated from Harry's arm, but you can't see his fingers, but still on the ball. Rough. Okay, so we're getting a bit each way there, which is great. You know, that's why you're there. That's why we're here to provide a forum for the fans.
It's your interpretation. When it comes down to the interpretation, that's why I think you need to play.
0467920222. What do we got? 3 tries to Brian Totlaw. Tries 100, 101 and 102 in his NRL career. Split by a try to Liam Henry, who scored the second try of the game. Cleary 3 from 4. Keeley sent to the bin. Martin still in the bin. Panthers 22-0 half-time, Hoffy.
Look, it's a tale of two teams. One team is priming themselves for the finals, and another team is getting themselves through the back end of the season. That's exactly what it looks like. Penrith came down here with the mission, and they executed that mission of starting fast and really getting their their form back to where it should be come finals time. And look, the Melbourne Storm, they were enterprising at the start. They weren't getting a lot of results for it, but they definitely tightened it up at the back end of that first half. But it's all about playing direct. Penrith's line speed is too good to try and go around them. You've got to play direct.
David says the overturned try decision was garbage and yet another reminder to get rid of the bunker. Nothing like watching referees' mistakes in slow motion, Chris in Gympie. Yeah, well, see, and the reason why I threw it open, whether or not it's an out-and-out mistake or just the rule is just written so... Well, I mean, Hoffy, you're the former Australian representative. Sometimes the rules are written to within the nth degree, which takes away from the practicality of footy.
I think we're trying...
Did Harry Grant make a mistake in controlling the ball while he had defensive pressure on him? And that's what we're
trying to make a black and white, a grey game black and white. It's weird with a lot of this. It's like the Liam Martin one. Like that was such a grey area. Didn't deserve something to get sent to the bin? No, of course not. You see it sometimes with obstruction plays and everything like that.
And the thing is, you can't be half pregnant. If it's a penalty, well, you got to think bin. Well,
do you have to think bin for that? I don't think you do. Well, maybe a penalty was sufficient because he took out the kick runner. If it's a longer kick,
and there were, let's be quite, about 4 or 5 Penrith guys around the ball. So maybe you could have just said penalty because there was no way that Fa'alongo was going to get to the grubber.
We seem to be trying to find ways to inconvenience a team.
Thanks, Hoffy. Half-time here again. Penrith 22, leading Melbourne 0. It's half-time in the AFL as well at Docklands. Gold Coast has a 15-point lead over St Kilda. The Suns 10-8-68 to the Saints 8-5-53. Hope you're enjoying NRL Thursday on ABC Sport, live from a wet Amy Park in Melbourne. We'll be back after a trip to the ABC newsroom.
ABC News with Melanie Scott. The family of aid worker Zomi Frankham is calling on the Australian government to seek full disclosure of the evidence underlying the Israeli military's decision to clear soldiers of criminal responsibility over her killing in Gaza in 2024. Foreign Minister Penny Wong met Israel's ambassador today after an internal IDF investigation found serious failures in the 2024 strike, but no reasonable suspicion of criminal misconduct. Ms. Frankham's family says it's deeply disappointed and is calling for an independent investigation. Perth emergency doctor Mohammed Mustafa, who has volunteered in Gaza, says he doubts the Israeli account.
Israel has said that the reason why they destroyed 80% of all the civilian infrastructure in Gaza, the reasons why they blockaded food and medicine and arrested doctors like my colleagues that went into Gaza for bringing in baby formula was because of Hamas. I'm just not going to sit here and entertain even that talking point anymore.
A warning that this next story discusses child sexual abuse. A new report has warned that offenders can pay less than the cost of a family takeaway meal to view and direct the live sexual abuse of a child overseas. The Australian Institute of Criminology says offenders are exploiting everyday technology, financial systems and online networks to facilitate abuse. Deputy Director of the AIC, Dr. Rick Brown, says research from the Philippines gives some indication of how widespread the abuse may be.
There are some glimpses from research. If we look at the victim side, for example, just in the Philippines alone, there was a study from 2022 that estimated that there were 470,000 children in the Philippines in that 1 year that had been subject to this kind of offending.
More than 1,000 doctors from Victoria's public hospitals walked off the job today, marking the first industrial action of its kind in 2 decades. The strike follows 12 months of failed negotiations with the state government over pay and conditions, with the Australian Medical Association saying doctors are stressed and burnt out. This afternoon, doctors from major Melbourne hospitals, including the Royal Women's and Royal Children's, stopped work for 4 hours, although ED doctors did not take part. AMA Victoria President Dr. Simon Judkins says it's disappointing the negotiations have reached this point.
None of us wanted to be here. You know, we wanted to have this thing sorted out months and months ago. We'd prefer to be at work looking after our patients. Unfortunately, as I said, it's got to this point where we've been able to make any progress on the negotiations, and we feel this is a necessary step.
Tasmania's police minister has defended the exclusion of gun caps from the government's proposed firearm reforms. The reforms tabled in Parliament today would introduce minimum 3-month jail terms for the possession of stolen firearms, reclassify some guns to a more restrictive licence category, and introduce Australian citizenship as a requirement for gun ownership. The government is opposed to introducing caps on the number of guns a person can own, a measure the state's police commissioner has previously called for. Police Minister Felix Ellis says the reforms are designed to not unduly punish law-abiding firearm owners.
Caps won't deliver a community safety benefit because only law-abiding firearms owners will have caps imposed upon them. It's important in this discussion that we recognise that we need to get firearms out of the hands of terrorists and the criminals, because they are the risk to community safety.
To overseas news, Ukrainian authorities say the death toll from the latest Russian ballistic missile attack on the capital Kyiv is now known to be at least 12, with around 30 injured. Emergency services say a children's hospital and a school were struck, as well as apartment blocks and warehouses. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says the deaths are a result of a shortage of air defence missiles, which Kyiv relies on Western allies to supply. In sport, the Sydney Swans AFLW team is preparing for a historic doubleheader at the SCG this weekend as the men's side deals with a major off-field scandal. The club has suspended 5 male players for the rest of the season for breaching behavioural standards. The players are linked to a Victorian police investigation into an alleged sexual assault at a Melbourne hotel, even though it's not suggested they're accused of sexual assault. Shiloh Kadas is an AFLW pioneer and commentator who says the situation is unfair on the women's team and staff. This is ABC News.
Lodging on the blind side. If we truly are a sporting nation, then we need a section in the census about our sporting interests and affiliations. Why is this? I know. Ryan HG. Surely a write-in campaign would draw the attention of organisers to the need for these questions. And maybe you mark it up yourself. Or just up the top of it. You know, I love Manly. Foz is doing a great job. And I get all my rugby league from bludging on the blind side.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
End of the set, Cleary with a little cross the line chip. Oh, caught. Brilliant lead by Martin. He chucks it back to Smith. Smith throws it to the right wing, and no one there to stop Brian To'o going in for the first try off the back of some brilliant last play Panthers football. 4-0 to Penrith. Last play Penrith. Papali'i runs it himself blindside. Gets an offload away to Jenkins. Give it a Cogger. Kept alive through Cleary. On to Liam Henry, and he has gone in to score. It's a second try for Penrith. 43 from Panthers line to the left through Munster to play a longer intercept pass to Brian To'o. He read the ball. He's got 55 to run. He's been chased by Farlongor. But on the night he brought up his 100th in the NRL, make it 101 career tries for Brian To'o. He's over. He's read that beautifully. And the Panthers go further ahead. Edwards is taken down, only 10 metres out, slightly right. Last play, Lussick passes blind for Cleary. Double cut out to To'o, who dives spectacularly to complete a first half hat-trick on the night that he registers 3 figures. He has 3 tries.
Rugby League is on your radio. The 2026 NRL Premiership. ABC Sport Digital Radio and ABC Listen.
Highlights from the first half where it's raining at Amy Park in Melbourne, but the Penrith Panthers have put a strong investment on breaking their back-to-back losing sequence. My name is Quentin Hull. You join us with Penrith holding a 22-0 advantage over Melbourne at half-time. Tries 100, 101 and 102 for Brian To'o in that first half. Liam Henry scoring as well. We saw Liam Martin go to the bin. I think he still is in the bin. He's got a bit to serve in the second half. Oren Keeley also went to the bin for a Melbourne Storm team that, well, did have a try taken away from them by the bunker and a little Harry Grant grubber and chase. But it's been pretty much all the Panthers in the first half here. Your thoughts continue to be welcome. The way to get in touch on the SMS line is 0467 920 222. Please send us your name and where you are texting from. Half-time cross town at Docklands in the AFL. Gold Coast 10-8-68 to St Kilda 8-5-53. Now, beyond the sort of night here, we're sort of talking about 2 dead rubbers, but even so, we're expecting about 16,000 fans here, Hoffy. There's a lot of talk going on that it's a very low crowd at Docklands for AFL in Melbourne. I know, obviously Saints and Suns can't make the finals, but the Storm can't make the finals.
No.
There's a real chance here that it's going to be a close-run thing to see which team won the battle of the crowd tonight.
Which team wins the Thursday night? I got to say,
and they got a roof there, not to get wet. Everyone's getting wet out here.
Yeah, a lot of people are getting very, very wet, quite honest. But they've had tremendous crowds all year, the Melbourne Storm, in a very challenging year. So it's once again the fans showing up.
Yeah. Hear the theme in the background, waiting for the players to return here. So, if you're Ivan Cleary, what do you think your message would be? Obviously, that's the real watch. This Panthers team, which, for lack of a better word, gone from absolutely red hot, 1 loss in the first 13 weeks, been a bit flabby of late, only won 3 of their last 8, even though, the interesting thing, the last 2 losses against good teams, but in this run of 8 weeks where they've only won 3 games, they have lost also to the likes of Gold Coast, North Queensland, and Brisbane, who decided to have one of their good nights, but still we know it, Broncos are second last.
Yeah, exactly. They started so well, Tom. For 30 minutes they were brilliant. The last 10 minutes they just got a bit loose, and it hasn't been the 80-minute Panthers that we've seen over the years. They've just gotten a bit sort of loose. So I think Ivan Cleary just wants his team just to refresh. Let's start the second half the way we started the first, nice and aggressive, especially in the defence, because that's what started to drop off for the Panthers at the back end of that first half.
And of course, it's game 500 in the coaching chair for Ivan Cleary tonight. He's 302nd in his second stint at Penrith, having also coached the Warriors for 154 games and the West Tigers for 43 games. Great milestone for Ivan Cleary tonight. Here comes the Melbourne Storm, who, by the way, they go to Brisbane to play the Broncos next week before finishing their season at Shark Park. So the last home game tonight for the likes of the Perth-bound Nick Meaney and Tyron Wishart, the Brisbane-bound Sean Blore. We did see respect shown to Tui Kamikamitha, who, if you'd missed the news, the big prop forward retiring from rugby league after, well, a strong career which had a very scary medical episode earlier this year, and he's decided not to risk returning to the field. Let's play second half here. Penrith kicking off and leading by 22 points to 0. But now that I see the clock, there's still 6 minutes left of Liam Martin in the bin. Hoffy, So the Storm have got that man advantage. Quentin Hull, Ryan Kaufman and Ian Cohen, your company on Thursday night here at Amy Park. Melbourne with the football as it's played there by Keeley. Now given to McDonald. Alec McDonald's tackled centre third and about 17 metres from halfway. Plays to Grant, given to the left for the helmeted Hinchy. The young man from the West's Panthers in Brisbane is taken 10 from halfway. Plays a ball to the fellow helmeted in Grant. Gives it off to Wishart from inside the 40. That's a brilliant kick from Tyron Wishart. A 40-20 by the bare-bound Mr. Fix-It. He finds touch 18 metres from the Panthers line.
Well, I spoke about just a couple of minutes ago what Ivan Cleary wanted to see from his charges. Craig Bellamy wanted to see exactly that. Strong carries by Keeley, strong carries by Hinchy, and a great kick by Wishart.
And now Keeley on a straightening run has tackled only 8 metres out, so the Storm get the first chance of the second half. 6 again on a hold down. Cooper Clark almost barges his way over. The young lad is stopped by 3 defenders, half a metre short, just to the right of the uprights. Grant chucks it to the left for Munster. Shows it, now feeds it to McDonald on the inside line, who's driven to deck by the tackle of Phillips. Just 5 to the left of the upright, 2 metres from the Penrith line. Grant tries a burrowing run from dummy half, but he's turtled and can't get through. He's still in the field of play, so plays it right on the goal line. Munster now chucks it to the right for Wishart, holds it, cuts it out on the pass to the edge for Meany. Beautiful, draws a couple, passes it by Longmore, tackled by Popoliti, 6 again, and that's 2 in a row. So I reckon the Panthers are on notice here on their goal line. They better not have a third. They might be down to 11. As, big Clark again, thighs pumping. He's held up by 3 defenders next to the padding of the post, and they'll be trying to get off him, not to lie around and force that sin bin perhaps to the left. Munster gives to McDonald. Alec McDonald, ankle tap by Sorensen and tackled by Edwards. Close to the line. Oh, that's another 6 again. Come on, Rep Atkins, you got to send him if they keep doing that. To the right, it's Munster. He feeds it on to Wishart. Maybe he'll just wait until this advantage stops and then he'll go. Here goes Wishart. Although you should just send him now if you're going to do it. We saw it earlier with Keeley. Here it is. It's got to be. That's a penalty. Yep. And Lindsay Smith goes. And I reckon it was one play too late for the sin bin.
Oh, look, they can't argue about it because Grant Atkins, he showed his hand in the first half. Sim Vinegar and Keeley for the exact same 3 offences in the row, and why they go Penrith down to 11.
Did I miscount? Did he give them one more there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they did. Yeah, 4. I think it was 4.
So Lindsay Smith sent to the sin bin, and it's 13 on 11 for the next 3 minutes and 17 seconds until Martin returns. And now Lindsay Smith goes to the bin as well. And if you're going to keep hearing the ping-ping right on the goal line, that's hard to argue with. So Melbourne with the 2-man advantage. Hinchy tackle 5 metres out. Grant to the left. Munster gives it on to Howarth out there, and he's tackled. He'll get to his feet and play it a couple of metres out. Grant back to the right. No, Munster feeds it back to the blind side left. And McDonald runs into the defence. Alec McDonald and tackled 5 metres out. Grant to the right. He gets it to Wishart. Dummies, dancers, and in his final purple appearance in Melbourne, Tyron Wishart scores for the Storm.
It was just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. I can't believe the Melbourne Storm didn't test the fringes a lot earlier, to be quite honest. They just played in a 20-metre corridor there for a while around the post. But Tyron Wishart, he gets paid by the dummy through 1,000 dummies again. Finally got Papali'i to bite, opened it up, and the Melbourne Storm score under the post.
Ian Cohen on the touchline. Oh, we just don't have Koza for a moment. Nonetheless, Tyron Wishart, that's his 4th try of the season, and a nice way to remember his last game here in Melbourne as a Storm player.
Well, he started it, didn't he, with a 40-20?
Yep.
He got him the field position.
He did. And no angle what to speak of for Nick Meany. Slots the conversion. And does the game change from there? So we've still got, 22-6 is the scoreline. 90 seconds seconds left of 13 on 11. And then a further, 7 minutes after that of 13 on 12. Should we see no further sin bins?
That's still, what's that, 2 sets that they got to defend with 11. So they could be in trouble here. Penrith and Melbourne Storm starting to play a bit of expansive. They've really got to test their fringes.
Little twist in the tail here. I wonder whether they might think of some type of funky kick to waste time in. And Nathan's blowing up. Nathan Cleary's having a chat to referee Atkins.
Well, there's time off. They stop time after tries these days anyway, so no point taking the time.
So Dylan Edwards is going to kick off for Penrith. Just a little twist in the tail early in this second half as Edwards kicks it deep, and it's caught by try scorer Wishart, given to Clark. And Cooper Clark meets the defence 15 metres from the end. He's defending that northern end, the Slater stand end, so the Storm running to the right of your radio dial. Lauren Keeley beyond the 20 by a metre or two before being tackled middle third. Oh, he didn't play it properly. And that little pee of the whistle ends that little run of momentum for the Storm. A mistake from Oren Keeley. Oh, and you can hear it take the gas out of the stadium.
It really did. It just took all energy that the Melbourne Storm were flowing with. Look, he's tried his hardest, Oren Keeley. It was a great run. Tried to get a quick play the ball. In these conditions, you've got to play the ball correctly rather than quickly.
So 45 seconds left of an 11-man attacking line against a 13-man defensive line. What do the Panthers do here? Win the scrum, 25 out in centre field. Jenkins is first receiver on the left and meets the defence. Tom Jenkins, 18 metres out, plays the ball to Lussick, give it to Papali'i, who runs down the middle third. Isaiah Papali'i just short of the 10-metre line, make it a dozen out slightly left as he plays the ball to Lussick, directs it right and open side for Cleary. Now pops up for Tungor on the inside line, but 3 men in purple there to meet him and make the tackle on Isaac Tungor. Lussick now feeds left for Cogger. Now Cleary's running on the inside right. Fends away from Keeley. Runs into Clark, but got an offload away to Lussick. Passes to the right. A little shimmy and move from Phillips, but he's tackled 10 metres out as Liam Martin returns to the field. Panthers on the attack. Grubber from Cleary to the in-goal area, and it's battered dead by Wishart. Goal line dropout coming up for Melbourne.
Well done, Nathan Cleary. That's experience. That's a great execution on a kick. Knowing that you were 2 men down, now just a man down. Kick the ball into the in-goal, soak up a bit of time, try and get the football back.
And what's Sewer going to do here? Looks like he's pulling short.
He's pretty good with his short kicks, so he's got a pretty good strike rate.
Fa'alongo sets up for the short dropout. Carries about 15, and it's regathered by the flying meanie of Melbourne. Great work from Nick Meaney and Saul Fa'alongo. The Storm get the ball back off the dropout, and now Keeley up to the 30. So Melbourne now has still the 1-man advantage. 5.5 minutes left of Lindsay Smith in the bin. Penrith lead 22 points to 6. Early stages second half, and the rain is just easing a little. Fa'alongo on a left side run, splits the line. Fa'alongo steps inside Edwards. Edwards did enough to make a bit of contact, but got a pass away to Howarth. Howarth is tackled now 15 metres out. Great defence from To'o. Melbourne on the press. Munster to the right for Grant. His pass is loose. Great defence from Cogger. Cogger came out of the line there and hit Grant and made a mistake on the pass. Cleaned up by McLean. And now Penrith's got the ball. That was a huge defensive play from Jack Cogger, and Melbourne blow the opportunity.
Huge play by Cogger. Harry Grant was blowing up, saying it came off Cogger's hand, but they played the whistle. That's the pressure that the Penrith needed from their 5'8".
To'o with the ball for the Panthers. Tackle 16 inside Penrith territory. An interesting start to this second half. 8 minutes played, 22-6 to the Panthers. Ruck infringement goes Penrith's way and a ping-ping. Papali'i taken. First play of a new set. 10 from the halfway line. Pass goes to Phillips in the middle of the field. Billy Phillips taken down by 3 Melbourne defenders. A metre his own side of halfway. Now, Luke Garner's just run out on middle of the field for Penrith. So he's into the action as Papali'i takes a spell. Meanwhile, Panthers go into attack on the run as Sorensen plays it 45 out. Pass loose to the right edge. Goes along the ground before To'o picks it up. And To'o is taken there by Leo and also Howarth. Penrith with it, 10 in from touch on the right, 40 from Melbourne's line. Now Martin's given the ball on a one-out run. Liam Martin gains 8. Still left edge, quick to his feet to play it. Fed infield to Cleary, who will bomb from 30 metres out. The bomb will come down about 10 out. Oh, it's bounced and eventually taken by Keeley of the Storm. Everyone sort of ran at it as if they were going to jump at it and then stopped. And for the Storm's advantage, it fell into the lap of Oren Keeley, Ryan Hoffman.
Yeah, Su'Falanga looked like he was going to go up and fly for it, but I just think he misjudged it. But fortunate bounce there for the Storm.
NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. Quentin Hull and Ryan Hoffman, along with Ian Cohen with you. With the rain still coming down in Melbourne. Storm with the football through Clark. And Cooper Clark's taken midway goal line and halfway. He doesn't go to ground though, the big fella. 3 around him. Now plays it. Grant passes blindside for Wishart, who hurdles over one fallen defender before being tackled. 8 from halfway. Tackle made there by Phillips. End of the set. Grant from dummy half kicks downfield. It's not a 40-20, but it will skim over the touchline only a metre from the corner flag. He was about 2 metres beyond his own 40. Brilliant kick though.
Yeah, it was. I think he wanted that to stay in just to build a bit of pressure in the corner. Unfortunately, with no scrums these days, with the ball going out, there's not a lot of advantage there. But it's good pressure there by the Melbourne Storm. They need to back it up with a good defensive set.
And referee Atkins is saying to Dylan Edwards, hurry up and bring the ball to the middle of the field so we can restart play. He's trying to keep the pace of the game going. To'o's tackled. 15 from his own line. 3 tries already tonight for the Chiefs-bound Brian To'o, who of course has got next year to see out with the Panthers before he becomes one of the marquee men for the Chiefs. Liam Martin down the middle third now. And the men in pink, the Panthers on their own 30 at the southern end. Distributed to the left for Garner, fresh out on the field. Jumper 21 for Luke Garner tonight wearing their black headgear. Plays at 12 from halfway. Milking, it's not talking about Jenkins, it was more so trying to draw a penalty. Left edge McLean with the ball. Nice tackle though. Put down there by Mini on halfway. Last play for Penrith. They chuck it infield to Cleary, centre of the field before he boots it downfield. Defensive left corner. It's taken by Leo, throws it infield to Fa'alongo, runs back from where the pass came. Looping around that edge, he slides and goes to deck before being jumped on, and the Storm will start this set out in the left edge, 25 from their own line. One man infield given to Howarth. Jack Howarth up to the 30. Plays it there to Munster. And now Uduikamanu is back out there, but that's Moses Leo going on the carry. Taken 10 from halfway. Now Big Stefano's turn. He's in for his second stint, Uduikamanu. 4 men around him to eventually take him to his rump and to the deck. 48 metres from the Penrith line. Grant passes right for Wishart. Outside in play. Given to McDonald down the middle third. Draws 2. Beautiful pass to Hinch, who's now lost his headgear as well. He's taken 25 out. Last play, Melbourne to the right. Wishart's got it. He chips for the in-goal area. Men go down in the periphery. The ball goes dead meanwhile. What say you after all of that, Ref Atkins? Penalty Melbourne. Okay. I could see him bouncing around all over the place, Hoppy, but I had to follow the ball.
Yeah, it did. Oren Keeley got taken out there. Now it's... Yeah, I reckon that's another stiff one. It's Casey McLean. Well, he does run in front of his line. That was more of an obstruction than what Liam Martin.
Yeah. Always the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
So...
He moved further than Liam Martin did. Liam Martin goes to the bin.
And that was when Martin got binned in the first half. Speaking of the bin, so there's still 27 seconds left of Lindsay Smith in the bin. So Melbourne have got maybe a couple of plays. Munster dummies and straightens. He's taken only 5 metres out. Good tackle in the end by Phillips now. Uduikamanu with the crash ball line. He's going to be held up in the in-goal area, so he'll be marched out to the 10 to play the ball. Time off, 11 seconds left of Lindsay Smith in the bin. So Udawikamanu plays it there. Grant gives it on to McDonald. Alec McDonald, he's tackled 2 metres short. 5 to the right of the uprights. Now Grant swings it left and centre field. Liero dummies and straightens. Not the play. Offie not happy with that. Reels in his chair as Lussick makes the tackle. Now Grant gives a crash ball line. But no way through under the uprights there for, I think it was McDonald who took it. Yep, so many Panthers around him. Grant grubbers for Udawikamanu, but Casey McLean's there to bat it dead for Penrith.
The Melbourne Storm, they just tacked within the 20-metre corridor. They didn't test the fringes at all. The play just died in the middle. I really think the Penrith Panthers, they're too good in the middle of the paddock. You need to start spreading them wide, test them on the fringes.
So Billy Scott's gone out there, and I think he is the guy to make up the numbers. So there's a replacement being made as Cleary tries to kick long. Well, he does from the drop out. It's not the most prettiest of kicks, but went about 35 when the fly rolled to halfway before eventually McDonald runs it back and he gets hit solidly with Scott underneath and up top. Sorensen making the hit. Storm 35 metres out. We've got 26 minutes and 8 seconds left in the game. Penrith led 22-0 at half-time. It's currently 22-6 in favour of the Panthers. NRL Thursday on ABC Sport with again the purple on the press. It's their last home game of the season here in Melbourne. Liero tackled 15 out in centre field. Grant passes left through Munster to Fayalongo. Dancing, passing. Oh, good tackle out there on Howarth. That was good defence from the Panthers' right side defence. Back to the right through Munster. Give it to the centre of the field for Wishart, bouncing away from McLean before being jumped on from behind. Smith is back out there. Now to the left. Grant passes off the ankles of Fayalongo. Great pickup. He put in a kick. Ricochets off the Panther. Cleaned up by Howarth. Howarth's tackled, but there's 6 more for Melbourne on the Penrith touch. So the Storm have started this second half with a persistent presence in the attacking territory of the Panthers. More points needed for them. They've only got one so far, one try. Liero to the 10. Now to the right. Munster through Wishart on to Keeley, who's taken down by Cogger and McLean. 10 to the right of the uprights and 5 metres out. Grant out of dummy half, runs laterally in infield, then gives the pass to Liero. Cleary's got him, but Liero offloads back to Grant. Passes back to the right for Fayalongo. Tries to put the little jink and jive on Garner. He chucks a pass out the back to Grant, who says, come infield. There, it's very hot potato stuff. Now Meany goes forward and eventually he's tackled. 5 in from the right, 10 metres out. Storm chucking everything at the Panthers here to get back in this one. Wishart centre field. Passes left for Munster. Munster through the hands to Howard. Howard over the 10. Howard for the corner. Howard scores. And Melbourne do score back-to-back to start the second half. 22 points to 10, kick to come, and we might still have a game on our hands here, Ryan Hoffman.
Gee whiz, Q, that was some football there. There was a lot of passing going. They weren't going anywhere. They finally spread it wide. Gave Jack Howard a bit of early ball to work with. He's big, he's fast, he's strong. It's been a really, really good battle between him and Isaac Tungo. Both of them had some good attacking plays and good defensive plays. He just put him on a bit of a shake and bake. Bumps off Dylan Edwards, gets the ball down over the line. Good try.
Jack Howarth returning to the team from a shoulder injury. Just his 6th try of the season and a mini milestone for him as well. His 50th NRL game tonight.
Been a long time coming for Jack Howard. There's been a lot of talk about him for a very long time. But Q, we've got 23 minutes to go and there's 12 points in it at the moment with the kick to come.
It's exactly what the contest needed. And considering the, in relative terms, frailties of recent times for the Panthers, I mean, in other Penrith games you just think, they're just in control.
Yeah.
But they've conceded 2 tries in a row against them, and they, as I mentioned, coming into this game, they've lost 2 in a row and they've only won 3 of their last 8 games. Let's see the conversion from out on the left. No, you're right. Never got there off the boot of Meany. Leaves it short, 22-10.
But there's a bit of doubt. Like Penrith, they're not defending their errors. They're not defending their penalties, something they've been so good at for such a long time. So, look, they really need to sort themselves out the last 20 minutes because the Melbourne Storm are coming back with the win behind them.
And I reckon there'd be a bit of fatigue in that Penrith team because they've now spent, 2 periods a man down in the bin.
Of the Melbourne Storm having the bye last week as well.
Yep. So, momentum with the Storm, even though the Panthers lead 22-0. Pretty important for the men in pink to score next, or at least settle things here. Udawikamanu runs the ball back for Melbourne off the kick-off, and he's short of the 20 by only a metre or so. The rain has basically stopped now on this Thursday night. Ball still slippery as McDonald takes it, and the Storm almost up to the 30. Alec McDonald centre field will play the ball to Harry Grant. Passes one man to the right, but a good defensive line in front of him. That man carrying the ball was just obscured by, who was that?
Adavalu Lasani.
Yeah, the big, and when he stands up in front of you, in front of the box, you can't see through him. He's pretty big. Big Adavalu's now sitting with his teammates in front of him. Storm roll it to the left, and it's gone over the touchline.
The touch by Penrith.
But it took a Penrith touch. Yes, our broadcast position is not a specialist radio box as such. It's a sort of converted corporate box area, and there are 3 or 4 rows of seats in front of us, and generally the non-playing players sit in front of us. So when Adavalu got up a moment ago,
they're big boys.
I'm trying to look through 6'3" and 120 kilos. Anyway, he's now just sitting. He's got some traditional dress on as well, which is cool.
Paying tribute to Tui Kamikamica.
Yep. Storm on the attack again. They've scored the only 2 tries of this second half. Liero rolls forward and thighs pumping for a couple of close contact meters. The purple 35 out as he plays it to Grant. Give it to Udawikamanu. He's helped coming back out there. Nice tackle. Lindsay Smith around his ankles. Puts him down. 22 out. Now Grant to the left. Through the hands of Munster. To Fa'alongo. Passes to the edge. Howard's got it again out there. But this time there's a wall of pink in front of him. He can't get through. And the most recent try scorer is tackled 12 metres out. Last play coming up here for Melbourne. Munster. A chip towards Wishart, who couldn't get there. And Lindsay Smith takes it for the Panthers. And he's tackled 5 from the Penrith line. So the Panthers survived that raid. And we've got 21 minutes to go. Penrith lead by 22 points to 10.
I don't understand that kick by Cameron Munster, putting a little chip kick in for Tyron Wishart when he got Tuamalotu Brown over here on their right wing. It's a good catch and a good one for the high ball.
Interesting on the text. Kylie from Daysdale agrees a bit. She goes, "Hi guys, great call tonight, but not confident in Penrith winning. Melbourne are coming in this second half." Good on you, Kylie. 0467 920 222 is that text number, and you can hear the crowd there. They're cheering because Melbourne are really manning up in defence in this set for Penrith. The Panthers are still just inside their 20. Nathan Cleary's putting his boot to it, 15 from his own line. Such was the nature of the Melbourne defensive pressure. Fa'alongo takes it on his own 30, and he basically gets to halfway before meeting the Penrith defensive line. So good field position for the Storm to start this set, and they've had the best of possession and territory in this second half so far. Tuamalotu Brown taken the halfway. Plays the ball to Wishart. Give it to King down the middle third. That's a good run from Josh King. Taken 38 metres out. Grant runs out of dummy half. There's a bit of space. He now passes left for Munster. Gives it on to Bloor. Thought of the offload. Decides not to give it as Martin comes in to wrap up that ball carrying arm. Ball played 25 out. Back to the right. Munster in centre field. Shows it. Then gives it to Wishart. Cogger knew that was coming. It was a high tackle though from Cogger. And the Storm were quickly in to remonstrate. But Cogger put up his hand and said, "Yep, sorry, that one went wrong. I think it's only a penalty."
Yeah, it was a good aggressive tackle, but he definitely did hit him high. He got that wrong. He got that wrong straight away.
The replay's not a pretty look.
No, that's a bit worse
than what I originally saw. Off the shoulder. That's the only mitigating factor I can think here. Otherwise, it's flesh bicep to the face. He might be going for 10 here. Yeah, for the third time tonight, a Penrith player sent to the sin bin. Jack Cogger for a high tackle is sent to the bin. Wow, this game continues to twist.
They look like we're in for a cricket score in the first half. Things have totally changed, and it's come off the back of a lot of sin bins. As you mentioned, the third sin bin for the Penrith Panthers.
So Cogger sent to the bin with 20 minutes left in the game, and Melbourne are on the attack once more, and Penrith are a man short of the defensive line once more. King of the 10, now to the left. Grant gives it on to the stepping Munster, who gets an offload away with tacklers around him. Grant's there to catch it. Gives it to a flat-footed Liero. Tries to palm away from Cleary but can't, and is taken. This Thursday night fixture taking an interesting turn here in Melbourne. Hope you're enjoying it on ABC Sport. Azuta Wikamanu is taken on a straightening run. 7 metres from the goal line, plays it to Grant. Passes left for Munster, holds it, cuts out to Howard's edge. He's got it, but the defence comes across in front of him. Tungor leads the tackling trio to put Howard to deck. 8 metres from the goal line, 10 from touch of the left. So pass back to right and centre field from Munster to Grant. Harry Grant now gives to Wishart to the right edge. Failongo, catch and give Mini to him. Olatu Brown goes over in the right corner. And the Storm have scored 3 tries in a row. Penrith led 22-0 at half-time, but there's 18 minutes left in the game. It's now Penrith 22, Melbourne 14, kick to come, and the script has been flipped.
It's been overwhelming pressure from the Melbourne Storm. Very slick move down their right edge. Great hands by Nick Meaney. I'm just looking at the put down. It's very, very close. Does he keep his legs up?
A millimetre in it.
Oh, you're joking.
His right knee is a millimetre above the grass as the Steeden is planted.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Not quite Dallin last week, but boy, that was a close run thing.
Oh, how do I know how he kept that up? That's a great put down by Tuamulatu Brown. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities tonight, but good players take their opportunities when they come.
Third try of the year for CU Tuamulatu Brown. And wow, now the fans are into it here in Melbourne. And isn't this a script starting to be flipped? He couldn't contemplate Penrith not finishing in the top 2 a couple of weeks ago. They might be staring down their third straight loss here. Meaney from the touchline, no chance, never looked near it. It's across the face and no goal. But that's Penrith 22, Melbourne 14, 22-14 with 17 minutes to go.
Yeah, that's it. There's still 17 minutes. There is a lot of football to be played in this game with still missing Cogger for another 7.5 minutes.
17,880 in the house.
That's a great crowd.
And they're making some noise now.
What is it, a marble?
Don't know. Yes, by the way, the scoreline there, Gold Coast 12-15-87 to St Kilda's 8-6-54. So even the Saints fans that did turn up might be leaving now because it looked like the Suns are going to win that one. Wow. Okay. As the rain returns on cue, just to add a little extra drama here. Dylan Edwards with the kickoff for Penrith. Wishart catches, gives to Udawikamanu, and first carry for Melbourne. Takes the purple, 18 metres beyond that northern in-goal area. Quentin Hull and Ryan Hoffman along with Ian Cohen with you at Amy Park in Melbourne for NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. King to the 30 on the next carry from Melbourne. Now it's Keely's turn to take it forward. He's pushed back though by some solid Penrith defence. Not a great gain there from the former Finn. Plays it to Grant. Chucked infield comes Meaney. Howth, should I say. It's Howth who's tackled. 11 metres from halfway. Plays the ball to Grant. Passes back to the left to Munster. Inside the 40. Left boot to it. Edwards is tracking. It's not close enough to the touchline to be threatening a 40-20. Edwards gathers it for Penrith 10 from his own line. But there are 3 to meet him on the 20 and push him back. And the Panthers are very slow to get back onside as To'o has to have a run by himself. You even see in the body language, Hoffy, things have changed out there.
Yeah, no surprise Ivan Cleary is putting on his main charger, Moses Leota. They've got no go forward. They are very bunched. A lot of hands on knees for the Panthers.
15 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Penrith lead 22-14 and still more than 6 minutes in the bin for Jack Cogger. So the Panthers are man down and still as McLean has a run and plays the ball. Next man to carry forward is Liam Henry. He's still 10 inside Penrith territory. Rev Atkins says 5, so Nathan's boot is a right foot torp downfield from Cleary. It pitches very kindly for Failongo. Takes it on the bounce, 20 from his own own line. And again, stepping left, stepping right before meeting the defence and tackled 30 from his own line. Munster's come into the game as well, I think, Hoffy. He's a dummy half there.
Yeah, he's very busy, Munster. He hasn't really taken the line on. So I reckon next time Melbourne Storm get inside the Penrith 20, that could be a chance for him. He's patented show and go left foot.
He gave it to Leo, who had a run. Howarth, the next man to go forward. Storm up to halfway. And now Tuimalatu Brown, the most recent try scorer, crashes into the defence and takes Melbourne just beyond the halfway paint. Storm into attack again. Through the hands to the left. Liero on the Munster. Give it to Blore. Blore is taken on 5. 40 metres from Melbourne's line. Last play for the Storm is a Munster bomb, which will come down 5 metres from the goal line. Jenkins is there. Catches it for Penrith. Rides a tackle. Stands up and pops a pass to Edwards, who goes on a weaving kick return, but still he decided to pass it. Oh, that was a forward pass from Lindsay Smith to Garner, I thought. Oh, wow. Edwards passed to Smith and thought, what am I doing with it? And that looked like a forward pass to Garner, which isn't called. Garner got to the 20.
It looked very suspect. The touch was in line with it.
Wow. Anyway, now To'o's got the ball and gets away from the attempted tackle of Munster before being grasped on the 30. 22-14 Penrith, 14 minutes to go as Moses Leota there, as it suggested, Hoffy ploughing down the middle third to settle things up, and he's down and hurt after that tackle. G'day to Rod and Shane. They're on board Rattle and Hum, listening from Bodrum in Turkey. And listen, that goes all around the world. Good on you. 0467 920 222. Brendan the Garbo from Shell Harbour says, let's keep some perspective, boys. Melbourne going to have enjoyed extra man advantage for a third of the game come full time. It's interesting, but hardly an epic comeback. Well, 2/3, not a third of the game. There was one period where the Storm themselves were down a man. So we had Keeley go to the bin. Before then, Martin and Smith and Cogger. Cogger's still in the bin for Penrith. And Moses Leota is down and being attended to, which has a storyline beyond this evening.
Look, to be honest, only one of those sin bins you could probably question, and that's the Martin one. The other ones were justified.
Now,
it was an awkward tackle.
Right half, sort of lower leg.
Yeah, Josh King got his legs caught in between on Moses Leota as he came down. It's been given the tick of approval from the bunker. He's good to go.
Maybe they were looking at the high ankle sprain there, but Moses plays it, and Leota is okay to continue, which is good news for the Panthers. Dylan Edwards takes the men in pink to halfway. And that's tackle 5 of this set, which had the pause in the middle of it. Cleary now will kick downfield from halfway. It's a deep kick for territory. Fa'alongo takes it, a couple of metres from his goal line. And again, energetic on the kick return, meets the defence, and saw Fa'alongo of Melbourne will play it 15 metres from the northern end. And the crowd's getting into this. 13 and a half minutes to go. Rare for Storm fans to be thinking on the 20th of August, I have no more home games to attend this year. A team so prevalent in September won't be there this year, but they're trying to pip the Panthers in their last home game with a number of players playing in purple at home for the last time. Josh King's got it now for the Storm. He's sort of going sideways and upfield at the same time. He grabbed 45 degrees towards the touchline, but forward, taken 5 from halfway. Back to middle of the field. Munster draws and passes to Wishart. Draws and passes Fa'alongo. Holds it up for Meany. Great tackle from Jenkins to stop him as he was almost slicing through. Meany plays it on 5. Blindside given Fa'alongo to Grant. Grant grubbers in behind the line. That I don't think was the right play there from Harry. You rarely say that. And Edwards takes it and he stops well from his own line.
Yeah, you're right. It wasn't the right play by Harry. I'd love to see the ball go up in the air and really test with the wind and rain coming down. Really test over to see Brian Time at a half break. The Melbourne Storm challenge one of those bombs, put pressure on Dylan Edwards.
And Tango jumps out of dummy half for Penrith and gains 15 metres upfield. He's taken 8 from halfway. 12 minutes to go. Penrith leading 22-14. Leota looks okay after that ankle problem a moment ago. Gains another 7 or 8 right side of the ruck. 20 in from the right, just beyond halfway as he plays it. Ball chucked infield to Cleary. Gives it on to Scott and Billy Scott. Oh, no, that's not Billy Scott. It's Liam Henry. He's taken 40 metres out. End of the set. Cleary puts his right boot to it. It's a bomb. Fa'alongo has to come forward to leap at it and catch brilliantly despite got the attention of Jenkins. Great catch from Fa'alongo, who fields the bomb and has taken 15 from his own line.
He was under a lot of pressure there, Fa'alongo, but he committed right off the bat. He went straight at the ball, knew exactly what he was going for.
And a penalty now going to Melbourne. Down to Ian Cohen on the touchline. Boy, the crowd's got into it in this second half.
Hey, there's a real buzz absolutely throughout the stands. The crowd, which was so quiet for the first half, is now really getting involved, and they can just sense maybe something special. We know Storm play the whole 80 minutes. What is going to unfold over the next 10 or 11?
So, ball kicked for touch. And first carry taken by Cooper Clark. And he's a couple of metres attacking side of halfway. Still 90 seconds of Cogger in the bin. That man advantage for the purple, which has been around for a fair bit of this game, as Uda Wikamanu is tackled. 35 metres from the Panthers line. Penrith lead 22-14 to the right. It's given on to Wishart. Great defence from McLean. One-on-one, wraps him up, ball and all. Great tackle from Casey McLean. Wishart plays it 35 metres out in the right. Back to the left for Munster. Gives it to Fa'alongo. Jinking, weaving. He gives the pass to Howard, who straightens over the 30 before being tackled. He's 27 out, went stop, 10 in from touch on the left. Storm back to the right. Munster runs at the line, gives to King. The hit and pop back to Munster on the little offload. Now a netball pass, just chest press. Gave it off to Liero on to Wishart. He keeps it alive to Clark, who's 15 metres out. Got the right arm free, but Meany knocks on the pass. No, it's knocked back, and then taken by Jenkins. But Penrith's got it anyway. And now Meany and Edwards will have a fight. They're holding each other at arm's length.
Yeah, Meany and Edwards went at it right from the start. I think Edwards might have said something to Meany as he was getting up off the ground, and Nick Meany didn't take very kindly to it.
It's been brewing. It's been brewing these last couple of sets. And it's still going. It hasn't settled down at all. Trent Liero always seems to be in the middle of it.
Well, 9 minutes and 53 seconds remain in the game. Penrith were 22-0 in front at half-time, but Melbourne has scored the only 3 tries of this second half. Panthers lead by 22 points to 14. You're hearing NRL Thursday on ABC Sport with Quentin Hull, Ryan Hoffman and Ian Cohen. And the Panthers, having lost their last 2 games, the most recent of which to the Roosters, gave up their position on the top of the ladder. And well, if the Panthers lose tonight, they'll be vulnerable to be dropping out of that top 2, because the Warriors' points differential is close enough to threaten the Panthers and go beyond them. Mind you, now there's a lost ball from Leota. He was 10 from halfway. Penrith's given it up again, and Tyrone Wishart's got it. And the Storm are 41 metres out as finally Cogger's time in the bin has ended. It's 13 on 13, but Cooper Clark's got the ball from Melbourne. Taken 15 in from the right and 33 from the Panthers line. Play to Grant, pass left and centre field for Wishart. Gives it on to Munster, ghosting crossfield, given to Fa'alongo. He again on a lateral, let straightening one eventually is taken down Fa'alongo by the tackle of Scott, 32 metres out. One man to the right of the ruck, Ikamanu plows down the middle third. With 3 around, got an offload away to Grant. Given to Munster to the left edge for Bloor. And Sean Bloor is eventually tackled, 15 in from the left and 15 from the goal line. Grant passes back right and centre field through Liero onto Wishart. Grubber in behind the line, fielded by McLean. Even though Meany was coming through, Casey McLean fields it for the Panthers and saves the day, and Penrith's got the ball on their goal line with 8 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, a kick on the third play is not what you want to do. You've been camped down inside the Penrith 20 for pretty much the whole second half. You don't need the trick plays. You've scored tries off the back of some good plays, shifting out to the left. Go back to that.
Tungor with the ball for the Panthers. Centre field and 30 metres from the goal line he's defending. He's tackled. Dummy half is Scott, given on to Edwards. And Dylan Edwards on 5. Red stripe at the 40, his own side of halfway. Last play's a cleary kick from inside the 40. He's going for one of those balls that have got a bit of screw on it to the touchline, but it was taken by Moses Leo before the touchline. He runs infield on the kick returners, tackled just beyond the 30. So there's time enough for the Storm, but they'll need to score twice. Any further tries to Penrith, you think, would seal the deal. Having scored 4 tries unanswered in the first half, the Panthers, but the Storm have scored 3 unanswered to date in the second half. Up to halfway, they go on the carry of Tuimolatu Brown for the Storm. Played to Grant. Now down the middle third, Liero's got it with 3 defenders around him. Trent Liero's tackled 45 metres from Penrith's line. Game seems to have settled a bit. To the left, now Munster to fly along. Oh, he's passed for Blore, asked a bit much of him. Blore knocks it on. Knock on Storm, picked up by Edwards of Penrith. And Dylan Edwards saves the day again for the Panthers. He's tackled 15 from halfway. I don't know about you, Hoffy, but they've huffed and puffed the Storm, and I reckon they might just be about out of juice now.
Yeah, they seem to be running the same sort of plays. That was a poor pass by Stuart Falongo, who's under way too much pressure there. Sean Blore. It's the sideways to sideways that they got stuck in the first half. They get back to playing direct, short runners, trying to bend the Penrith line backwards.
Now the Panthers looking for the coup de grace, perhaps. Over halfway into the right. Cleary feeds it to the right edge where Tungor is taken down. 15 in from the right, 35 from the Storm line. 6 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game. Penrith lead by 22 points to 14 as Liam Martin gets an offload. Second phase here. Smith to the left. Through the hands of Cogger onto McLean. He's got defenders in front of him. Meany wrestles onto him, run on one and wraps him up.
That's been a good battle all night.
Yeah, it has. Got a bit of help in the end from Clark, but McLean's taken as Scott feeds it infield to Papali'i. Isaiah Papali'i standing for Penrith. 23 metres out left edge, and referee Atkins has the hand raised for 5. Last play. Cleary will bomb to the attacking left side looking for Jenkins. He's the only one to leap. Jenkins catches, passes, but his support man is wrapped up immediately by 4 Storm players around him. It was Cogger who got it, but there were purple men aplenty waiting for him, and the Storm have got it. 5 from their own line, but only 5.5 left in the game.
Yeah, they've got some game breaks in Melbourne Storm. They're down by 8 with 5.5 to go. They need something special by Falongo or Cameron Munster. Cameron Munster's been threatening all night. Now's the time to shine.
Meany plays it 15 from his goal line. Melbourne with it deep inside their own half. As Munster feeds McDonald. Alec McDonald can't get beyond the 20. Out on the left edge, we'll play it there to Grant. Munster's wrapping blindside. Grant gives it to him. Nice little play. Oh, well read by the defence though in the end. Tungor made the quick tackle there on Howarth up to the 40. Quick play the ball. Munster at the line. Gives it to King. Hit and spin. Little bounce pass there back to Wishart. Gives it to Munster. Failongo chucks it right. Cooper Clark is taken down one-on-one by McLean. Storm on halfway. Last play. Blindside. It's given to Wishart. And that wasn't really planned. He has to bomb. Edwards is there. He takes it and is driven into the deck by the tackle of Hinchy. But a great take from Dylan Edwards saves the day once again at the back for the Panthers. 4.5 to go. Panthers might do enough to hang on here. They lead 22-14 as Jenkins has tackled. He hasn't scored a try tonight, but the man with the ball now has. Brian Toto scored 3 in the first half to move to 102 career tries, taken midway goal line and halfway. Now Edwards with a weaving run down the middle third. Good carry from Dylan Edwards just to settle things in the middle to latter parts of this set. He plays it on 4. Pass goes to the left to Smith, back infield to Leota. He gives an offload away with 2 around to Scott. Now to the right, Edwards gives it to Cleary. He doesn't like that way. Chucks it back to the left for Cogger. Still 10 from halfway. Steps and straightens off his left, but taken down by King and Wishart. Last play here for Penrith, and it's 5 inside their own territory. Cleary kicks for distance. Failongo will catch it 20 metres from his own line. He does a little chuck to himself as if he was goose-stepping the ball. No one really bought that one, Sewer, but he's tackled on his own 30. And the time may now be beating Melbourne as much as the scoreboard. Tuimolatu Brown taken 15 from halfway. Played to Grant, given to the right edge for Meany. And Nick Meany among a group of players who will be playing in purple in Melbourne for the last time tonight. They play the ball and shift it once again left. Munster to Failongo out to the edge for Howard. Great defence from To'o. Out there, puts him down.
He just doesn't have that catch and pass. He's been open a couple of times with chip and chase.
Oh, from Munster. Grant got taken out, I think. No, referee says play on. Edwards has got it anyway for Penrith. And he's taken. Sorry, Hoffy. Cam Munster had something to say with his boot, as you had something to say there.
Yeah, they were trying to do something, Cam Munster. I think that might have been the last throw of the dice for the Melbourne Storm with about 2.5 to go.
Penrith have got Canterbury, Bankstown and the Wests Tigers before the finals. The Storm will have their last 2 games. They'll have a trip to Brisbane to play the Broncos and then finish against the finals-bound Sharks at Shark Park. As forward goes Liam Henry, scored a first-half try for Penrith. He's taken 41 metres out, now to the right. Cleary dummies and straightens, tried an offload infield, didn't execute properly. He's knocked it on. But there's only 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game, and Penrith lead by 22 points to 14. Storm will use their challenge. And that being said, among all the drama of the last half of footy here, this result is going to take Penrith back to the top of the premiership standings for the time being. If they can hold on for the next 2 minutes and 7 seconds, well, you'd suggest temporarily, with no disrespect to the West Tigers, but the Roosters are hot favourites to win that game on Sunday.
If you're a betting man, you probably put him in for it.
Passing curves, we don't need to determine perspective.
Mind you, we've had strange things happen this year. I called the game where Gold Coast beat Penrith, which started that sort of run of outs for them. So they get over the line tonight. It'll be 4 and 5. 4 wins, 5 less losses their last 9 weeks.
Look, they haven't been playing well as Melbourne Storm wins the challenge, but come finals time, you'd back them in, especially being in the top 2 home final, plus the opportunity to get the week off. You'd still back the Penrith Panthers in.
Yeah, it's wrapping. It's building to an amazing finals series. Of course, you'll hear every game here live on ABC Sport. 2 minutes to the end of the game here. Melbourne with the scrum, 15 their own side of halfway, and again they give to Fa'alongo. He's tackled, but he's just great to watch, isn't he? Why is it that he starts again with the headgear and then takes it off?
I have got absolutely no idea, but I reckon tonight was the quickest he took. I reckon it's gone after 15 minutes tonight.
Yeah, he didn't play very long with it. King down the middle third, Josh King. Basically in the middle of the park when stopped. Played to Grant, runs out a dummy half, floats a pass to the right edge for Meany, has to stop at the defence tracking. Meany chucks it back to centre field through the hands of Hinchy. Now Fa'alongo's out in the left, feeds it out there to Howarth, and Howarth's tackle. Melbourne sort of going lateral here now. They're 38 metres out. We're inside the last 80 seconds of the game. Munster shows it, gives it to the right for Wishart. Wishart dummies and straightens, got tackled by Papali'i, but got an offload away back to Munster. He chucks the problem to Meany, who's flat-footed. Papali'i's there with others to make the tackle. And referee Atkins says that's 5. And Melbourne's 35 metres out. Last play of the set is a Wishart bomb. He hit the belly of the ball. It's been fumbled backwards by To'o. He then grounds it in the in-goal area. Cleans up his own mess, but what a pop that was. It had no end over end. It was all floater. And To'o knocked it backwards, but grounds it. Goal line dropout coming up.
Why are we finally seeing that with a minute to go? They've had plenty of opportunities, Melbourne, with the little grubbers. They tried to do the third tackle. If you've got to try and kick, do that one. That's where you can complete to.
30 seconds left in the game as the official semaphore has that crowd finger up of 17,880. Cleary sort of tumbles the dropout 40 metres upfield. King's got the ball for Melbourne. And after a dominant first 40 from the Panthers, the Storm have, shown a bit of pride in this second half. Here's a little chip from Grant, looking for Cooper Clark. Oh, great stretch and catch from Casey McLean. It'll probably be the last play of the game. For the time being, at least, the Panthers have returned to the top of the competition. And Melbourne's home season ends with a defeat at the hands of the Panthers. Penrith 22, Melbourne 14. On a night where Brian To'o scored 3 tries to go past 3 figures in career tries in the NRL. From 99 to 102 with 3 tries in the first half. Liam Henry also scored. Nathan Cleary kicked 3 goals from 4 attempts. While for the Melbourne Storm, Tyron Wishart scored in his last home game as a Storm player. Jack Howarth scored, as well as Siu Tuimalatu Brown. Nick Meaney kicked just 1 of the 3 conversion attempts. 22-0 Panthers at halftime. 22-14 final score. Keeley spent time in the bin for the Storm. Martin, Smith and Cogger. 3 players spent time in the bin for the Panthers. But Penrith break their 2-game losing skid. They're 16-6 with 2 games to go.
Yeah, look, they weren't great tonight, the Panthers, but they did what they needed to. It's a tough road trip down here to Melbourne. What won the football game was the way they started. They started like an absolute freight train. They really did. And before Melbourne Storm could take a breath, they were already almost 22 points ahead. So, look, Penrith did what they had to do. I think they're priming themselves in the finals, personally. I think they're really ramping themselves up. Not great performances. They've got a couple of they've got a tough game against the Bulldogs next week, and then a game against the West Tigers. So they can hit finals running in a bit of form. Look, for the Melbourne Storm, they just started slowly. They're probably missing a bit of class, but it was a good effort.
Well, Coz, you've got a guy whose name is T and then 2 zeros. Now his tries are, 2 zeros plus.
Well, and notched up a milestone as well, Brian Toto, with 100 tries tonight, and then you went on with it for the party, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely a tough grind, a tough game. Obviously Storms has always been a quality side, and they definitely brought their A game, and really happy that obviously got the win, but also big shout out to the boys for getting me to the 100. So yeah.
Well, not only to the 100, but you scored 3 tonight. You've done that on a couple of other occasions. How come the red hot start? What was going on for the Panthers?
We obviously it's been a rough couple of weeks for us, and we just wanted to play our game, our style, and we obviously did that in the first half. Came out in the second half. Still got some work to do, but really happy with the win.
What about when you went a man down and then 2 men down? All of a sudden, the odds were stacked against you, but you held resolute. They got across a couple of times, but you held resolute.
Yeah, obviously, very proud of the boys. Obviously a bit of adversity, came towards us, and we just, obviously do what we do best, and really grateful that we got the win as well.
Well, your 3 tries helped set it up, but how important is it to go into semi-final football and now top of the ladder momentarily?
Yeah, it's obviously, it's every team's, obviously going to bring their best game, and we obviously got some work to do as well, and coming towards finals, we've got to make sure that we're ready and staying better as well.
Okay, still got a smile on your face. The intercept ball was a smile on your face as well. Your national teammate threw it to you.
Oh, Suwaza, big shout out to my brother, and he's been killing it this whole year for the Storms, and I'm really proud of what he's brought to their team and also to our culture as well. So it's all love for my brothers anyways.
Well done, congratulations.
Thank you.
Classy. Well done, Brian Toto.
Class personified.
Yeah, great stuff. Brian Toto giving a shout out to the retiring Tui Kamakamitha. 3 tries. So he's got 14 for the season and now 102 in his 152-game career. Penrith 22, Melbourne 14. Your texts are welcome on 0467920222. We've got a bit of time to wrap things up before we finish here on this Thursday night. Quick around the ground score across town. Last quarter in the AFL, Gold Coast 12-17-89. Leeds and Kilda 11 goals 7-73. So you seem happy enough with how Penrith are tracking?
Look, they're not. Look, we're so used to absolute perfection, to be quite honest, aren't we, with Penrith? We're so used to that, but they aren't playing well, but they've got time to fix it. And I think it's almost like a team where they've been so successful. This period of the season is very, very hard because you just want to get to finals. You're wrapped up a top 4. You just want to get in the finals and start playing the serious games. Look, I think having a couple of games at home in Sydney the next couple of weeks, I think we're going to see Penrith play an 80-minute performance like we saw in the first 20.
Let's get back down to Ian Cohen.
Well, I'm with a man who's played his final Storm game in purple at home, Nick. So obviously not the desired results for you, but it's the last home game. Mixed emotions.
Yeah, it definitely is. Obviously,
obviously had a bit of time to reflect on my journey here at the Storm, and comes around quick. You know, you sign a new club and you think you got a bit of time here to enjoy it, but it comes around really fast. So, you know, definitely emotional, but you know, really proud of what I've done here and the family and everything we've done to the Storm.
Well, obviously you've had a few years here now, emotional as well with Tui's departure, and I think there might be some presentations happening tonight as well. But what's Storm meant to you over the journey? What's it given you, and what will you leave with?
Yeah, it's given me everything. I think when I was at the Bulldogs, obviously the club and the team were going through a bit of a rough patch there, and kind of lose your love for the game. Going there each Monday after a disappointing loss, it kind of lost the fire there. But coming to this club, I've learnt just so much. Obviously had a bit of success over that 5 years, and reaching those grand finals, I'll remember that forever. I'm very grateful for where I am, and looking forward to the future.
Not the desired result tonight. Panthers started absolutely red hot, and it seemed that Storm just couldn't get that cohesion going early.
Yeah, I think look at their side. They're pretty much full strength at the moment, and they're playing really well. You can look at our team, and compared to the grand final team we had last year, there's not many of us left. So maybe that comes into it a little bit as well. But I think the effort's there, and we fought hard.
Unusual feeling, not having September football to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely a bit weird. Obviously, you're going to go on holiday a bit earlier, but got a little bit to plan, got a baby on the way, and obviously moving to the other side of the country. So we're going to be a very busy off-season.
Congratulations, you got a lot on your plate. Well done on your time at Storm.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Nick Meaney with Ian Cohen down on the touchline. Quentin Hull and Ryan Hoffman up in the box as we wrap things up for NRL Thursday on ABC Sport here. Penrith 22, too good for the Storm 14. I sort of get what you're saying about Penrith getting ready for the finals. I will throw this at you. I reckon Penrith is not playing as well right now as they were this time last year.
No.
Different circumstances. Penrith were playing so well at the back end of last year.
Yeah.
But they obviously had to chase their season.
Yeah, they did, because they gave themselves such a hill to climb.
We sort of have to believe that the switch can be flicked, can't we?
But look, it is a tough period after Origin, especially when they've had success for a very long time. I was fortunate enough to be a lot of Melbourne Storm teams. We knew we were going to be playing finals. It is a bit of a grind from post-Origin into the finals, and you just want to get there because you're so excited, just want to play finals and play the serious games.
Back down to you, Coase.
Yeah, Tyron Wishart's another one who is departing Melbourne Storm. Not on the terms you'd want to go out on in terms of your final home game, but when you look around the crowd, 17,000 strong tonight, what are the emotions?
Yeah, there's a few going on, to be honest. Still sort of just disappointed we didn't get that win. Thought we fought hard that second half. Kept them scoreless, which is that's a pro. But honestly, that first half was horrible, and it's hard to win footy games when you give a team a head start like that, especially a team like Penrith. So disappointing in that aspect, but now that it's said and done, get to sort of soak in my last time on this grass in a purple jersey. To be honest, I haven't got my head around it, but just making the most of it and trying to have a smile, and we'll see how we go.
I can see it welling up in you, though, isn't it? It means a lot. You've grown up around rugby league. You know what it means, and you're taking a couple of deep breaths right now, aren't you?
Yeah, for sure. Have to. Moments like these you probably look back on and remember forever. Like I said, it would have been good to finish on a better note, which is very disappointing, but can't change it now. So my mum and dad are down here, so I'll go and have a chat with them, and they didn't want to miss the last home game as well, and I think there's a few other parents here to enjoy it too. So we might have a drink after this, and celebrate the last 5 years.
What's advice the old man's given you over the journey and ahead of playing your final game in purple at home?
He's pretty simple in terms of advice. He's more a mindset type of advice giver. He tells you to don't hold back, no stone unturned, that sort of thing, which I love to take on, and I think that's sort of how he played when I look back and watch some games of his. So I like it when he gives me that advice. It's hard to take advice from positional aspect because different positions, but he's always good.
Well, I reckon you played every position except the front row. When you've been in purple, I would suggest, or certainly the 8 or the 10, but I think there might be a presentation coming your way. But when you have a look around and you sort of think about it, what's your final words?
Honestly, I don't really have much. Just that I love this. This club's amazing. They've done so much for me, and yeah, definitely holds a special place in my heart.
Good luck over there.
Thank you.
Tyron Wishart headed to the Bears, but still has a couple of games to finish his time at the Storm. Great work from Ian Cohen. We're fast running out of time here on NRL Thursday. Penrith defeated Melbourne 22 points to 14. Ryan Hoffman, a thought or two, and your 3, 2 and 1, please.
Yeah, look, I think tonight summed up the Melbourne Storm's season. Very inconsistent. Inconsistent. They showed what they can do, but they just couldn't do it throughout the whole game. So, look, they've got 2 more games to go in their season to try and sort of celebrate with a couple of tough road trips. But look, for them, yeah, it's a season missed. Unfortunately for the Penrith Panthers, they're going to go for strength to strength. They're going to be a threat. It wouldn't surprise me if they're there at grand final day. 3, 2, 1's 1 point. Harry Grant. Harry Grant, I thought he tried all day, did everything he's good. 2 points goes to Nathan Cleary. I thought he was tremendous. He was very composed, but his defence was very, very strong tonight. 3 points, Mr. 100, 101, 102, Brian Toll.
Yeah, why not? 3 points, 3 tries, 3 figures.
Oh, I like it.
Brian To'o tonight, 2 to Cleary, 1 to Grant, 22 to 14. A final score in favour of the Panthers. Just before we get Hoffy's thoughts on the Friday night double header, update of that AFL game across town. Gold Coast looks like it's headed for victory there over St Kilda. The Suns 13-18-96 lead the Saints 11-7-73. So Andrew's heading to Canberra for the Raiders versus the Broncos. So he'll be heading up the 5:30 show and the call of that first game in Papa's house tomorrow. Do you reckon they can get it done for Papa?
Oh yeah, I think so. Ricky Stewart knows how to build a team up for a big milestone game, and for a bloke who's been such a great servant for the Canberra Raiders, I think they'll be up for that.
And then at 8 o'clock, I'll be on deck with Billy Moore and Zane Bojack at the Cauldron for Finns v Eels, and yeah, the opportunity of Cronulla's little hiccup the last couple of weeks. Dolphins inside the top 4, keep winning, we'll get the double chance.
Yeah, I like the Dolphins. I like the Dolphins.
Yeah. Well, Hoffy, that's your last sort of game call in Melbourne. We'll probably catch you at some point. I don't want to let this moment go without thanking you for your efforts here at this venue, but it seems like such a long way from the end of the season. We'll hear again at some other time.
It does, I hope so. I'm available, ABC. Get me up to Sydney.
Yeah, but I know, we're just not used to Melbourne finishing up at this time of year. Thanks to Ian Cohen, as always, down on the touchline, to Stu on the faders, and to Nelly back in the studio. So Penrith back to the top of the ladder for the time being, 22 points to 14, their victory over the Melbourne Storm. 5:30 from Canberra tomorrow, before the 6 o'clock call of Raiders Broncos, and then 8 o'clock Dolphins Eels. Quentin Hull on behalf of the team here on NRL Thursday, thanking you for your company here. We'll catch you at the footy across the rest of the weekend. Good night.
ABC News with Melanie Scott. The mayor of Kiev, Vitaly Klitschko, says Ukraine needs more help from its partners to protect civilians after another intense Russian bombardment overnight. At least 13 people were killed and more than 40 injured in recent strikes across the capital. While visiting the scene, one of Russian attacks, the mayor says that Russia was trying to destroy the resilience of the Ukraine people.
It's very important to have a support from our partners, because together we are times stronger. It's just one goal: break resistance of Ukrainians, the dream of Putin. We have to give up. It never happens. We're ready to fight.
Médecins Sans Frontières says the Israeli military has failed to properly account for deadly attacks on aid and medical workers in Gaza. It comes after the IDF cleared soldiers of criminal wrongdoing over the 2024 strike that killed Australian aid worker Xiaomi Frankham and 6 of her World Central Kitchen colleagues. It decided not to open criminal investigations into 2 attacks involving Médecins Sans Frontières workers. Foreign Minister Penny Wong says the findings fall short of Australia's expectations. MSF Australia Executive Director Tom Roth says Israel should be held to higher standard.
I think we would expect that there's a greater accountability from the Israeli Defence Forces and that we would expect the Australian government to be pressing the Israeli authorities. And it was appreciated today that Minister Wong has expressed that outrage.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says the AFL needs to do better to improve its culture and attitudes towards women. Several Sydney Swans players have been stood down for breaching club standards, and an investigation into an alleged sexual assault is underway. Mr Albanese told 7:30 his thoughts are with the women involved.
The idea that this is occurring is completely untenable, and the initial response as well was, I think, completely unacceptable. The first thoughts should have been always about women and their safety, and I don't think that occurred.
New data reported by The Australian has revealed some air traffic controllers are working hundreds of hours of overtime. One Sydney-based controller reportedly worked more than 900 extra hours in the past year. The figures come after 3 safety incidents at Sydney Airport in the past month, including a near collision between Jetstar and Qatar Airways aircraft. A Chinese national who tried to bribe a public official with cash stuffed in a pink pack of tea has walked free from a Brisbane court. Talissa Seganto reports.
Gershwin Zhu pleaded guilty in the Brisbane Magistrates Court today to corruptly offering valuable